wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody. Try welcome to it. Hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. Hope it was a good one. It was nice and got to spend time with family. Weather-wise, a little windy Saturday, but overall not too bad. I mean, it was cooler. Like yesterday was quite pleasant. When I was out and about, enjoyed it, and I don't know. Weather-wise, I dug the weekend. I hope you did too. Another cooler day today, but as the week progresses, looks like things will warm up here. I'm being be nice in the 70s next couple days here, but about midweek we'll be in the mid 80s and in the low 90s by around Thursday of this week or so. So, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, sorry. I was answering texts all at the same time. But I hope you all had a good weekend. I did. I got played some games with friends and went to a Gold Star ceremony we had yesterday over at First United Methodist Church with American Legion family out there. So we had a good weekend overall. It's my birthday weekend. Today's actually my birthday, so doing a little bit of just kind of simple birthday stuff, going out to dinner, things like that. So, but overall, pretty good weekend. Had a good time. Ready for another week. I should have took today off. And everyone says that's Monday. You know, why didn't I take Monday off? I should have took Monday off, but you know, I get it. But yeah, I should have took Monday off. You know what I watched over the weekend, movie wise? I finally got to see The Batman. It's on HBO now, and this is the latest, newest Batman movie of the 357 reboots of Batman they've done in my time on this earth. This is the latest version of it, and I kind of dug this one. It's it went back to like the more Michael Keaton style, The Dark Knight. It's back to, because like Marvel went all space with the Avengers and all of that stuff, right? Guardians of the Galaxy. So Marvel kind of took all their people galactic. And of course DC tried to do that too with Justice League and all that. They go in and bring these they bring even like Batman, and they put him in like these suits, and he's fighting super galactic, out of this world monsters, and so, but Batman, at least in my interpretation, he's not an Avenger. He's not saving the world in the big, in outer space kind of thing. The Batman is like a guy that lives it's a billionaire son that lives in a corrupt city, and his dad's killed, and he gets vengeance and so that's Batman. Batman ain't Thor. You know what I'm saying?
Angsty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the Batman movie, going through and watching it, is more back to that Batman, which I dug. I ain't gonna lie. This Batmobile, one of the cooler looking Batmobiles.
Yeah.
It's got a muscle car look to it.
See, and that's what I kind of heard is they're kind of leaning more towards like a almost old, like winking back at like the old style of things, almost like a classic
darker,
style.
though. Yeah, much darker.
Well,
though.
there was a meme that was going around last week that made me laugh. It said to prepare for his role as the Batman. What's the actor's name? Robert Pattinson spent the majority of his career playing a sparkly vampire.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and this one he's not.
Right.
And that's the other thing too. Even the bad guys, like, and I don't think this is a spoiler. Two of the arch rival, longtime Batman menaces that they cover. Nemesis that they cover in this movie are the Riddler.
Okay.
And the Penguin.
Really?
And
okay.
those two people, they do them in a more human, like they're not.
It's Jim Carrey and Danny DeVito reprising their roles, right?
Yeah, it's not the guy with the suits with the question mark. It's a much more darker, cynic, human mental health looking guy.
All right.
You know,
okay.
The Penguin doesn't look like a ridiculous
He's not comic book style.
Yeah, he's just a fat mafioso looking dude. They call him the Penguin, because he looks kind of like a penguin, but he's not like a guy that needs to feed on ice.
Right.
And, all of that. So he's just a dude that's mentally disturbed, and that's where I do kind of dig where their villains aren't like super villains in the vein of, they have cool gadgets per se. They're just psychopaths. Yeah. And that's kind of interesting. So anyway, I kind of dug the Batman. It was pretty good. Have you seen it yet?
I have not. No, I spent most of my weekend entertaining children.
Good. Well, good.
My own mostly. It was okay. It was actually good. Goddard, I guess, had their prom on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So we some friends of ours saw their kids off to their prom, and we ended up having kind of a grown up prom. I guess it was sort of a dance, but nobody actually ended up dancing at all, except for like the one time they put on.
Sounds like a real prom now.
Yeah, exactly. We all just sat around a table mostly, but we put on the Casper, not the Casper slide. Gosh darn, I can't think of it. Which one it is? One of those call and response songs, and basically everybody got up and did the thing, did the call and response thing. And other than that, we just sat around.
Slide to the left and slide
other than
to
that,
the
we
right.
just sat around and drank mostly. But interestingly, there was a young man there. His name was Connor, and he decided to, because he's also a wrestler, I believe. He's on the wrestling team.
Okay.
So he decided to flex a little bit and put me on his shoulders and deadlift squatted me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm not a light man.
I was like, Sean's not tiny.
Huh. I was terrified the whole time, like, oh my god, because I haven't left the ground in quite some time. I haven't been that airborne for that long in a long time.
Did it bring you back to your days of when you practiced wrestling moves?
It was interesting. I was like, I don't understand how anybody could do this for a living without like getting vertigo. I was just up on a dude's shoulders for a couple seconds and oof.
It didn't feel natural, did
That
it?
was terrifying.
Didn't feel natural, did
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't something I was completely used to. I mean, I'm sure I would get used to it. It just, yeah.
You weren't back like saying, suplex me next, suplex me next.
Right. I wasn't ready to take a bump at that point.
Oh, man. Well, other than being,
Other than being airborne for a few seconds.
deadlifted.
It was actually a good weekend all in all.
So I'm assuming it's a strong young, strapping
He
young
was a
lad.
strong fella, yeah.
Yeah. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Good for him. I have no response.
Yeah,
to
there's
that.
really no answer to that. I just promised him I'd shout him out on the radio too. So you got to talk about this on the radio. I'm like, I will.
I will.
Here's my payment.
I was lifted off my feet.
I was swept off my feet by a dashing young man.
Oh man! So other than that, good weekend.
Other than that, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
All
good
in
deal.
all.
I saw you and the kids did something with animals yesterday, didn't
Yeah,
you?
Jasmine, her sons had recently acquired a couple of chicks, which are now
Okay.
older chicks. They're all not quite chickens yet,
Okay.
but they're like teenage chick. I
Okay.
don't know what you call teenage chickens. So they're in that stage. So the kids really wanted to go see the chicks, and so we set it up to go see the chicks and the ducks that they have.
Chick-agers.
Teen chicks, teenix. I don't know, teenx. But so the kids really wanted to see the chicks and the ducks, and so I arranged with Jasmine, and we went over and had dinner and met the livestock.
Kids had a good time.
Yeah, they enjoyed it.
You have chicken and eggs for dinner?
I did not. We did not. No, but we were talking about how we can go back over sometime a little later once they kind of develop a bit, and the kids can watch them go through and get a couple eggs or something.
Big nugget dinner.
There you go.
Love it.
And she had 2 ducks, and one's name was Darkwing, which I admired. I appreciate the reference.
And Scrooge, and then these are the McDucks.
They told
Scrooge,
me the
Darkwing.
name of the other one, but I can't remember. I think Rosie, maybe. I'm not sure. But Darkwing is the one that stood out in my mind.
Gotcha. Ducks in history. Let me give you the rundown for today's show.
Yes.
We're going to replay a couple interviews this hour and next. Tracy Fry and Peggy Boland from the Roswell Public Library joined us on Friday, talking about a plethora of events happening at the library over the next couple weeks. So we'll play that for you here in just a bit. This week is Royal Family Kids Purple Day later this week, Wednesday. So I thought I'd replay our interview we had with Kyla Williams and Tabitha Denny from Royal Family Kids talking about Purple Day. They joined us about 2 weeks ago. So we're going to play that for you here just to freshen up people's brains about Purple Day coming up this week. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Elliot Rodriguez from Lone Depot going to be joining us here in the 9 o'clock hour and give us an update on what he does. And, of course, he just started with Lone Depot here about 3-4 months ago, about first of the year. So we'll chat with him and get an update from him on what's happening in the world of buying houses and mortgages and stuff.
Do you think that other loan officers just like hang out in the parking lot of Lone Depot? Trying to get picked up. Hey, you need a loan? I got you. I need 2. I can do that thing. I can never do the whistle.
Can't do the whistle?
No.
I don't know. You have to ask.
Oh, I'm just here for 2x4s, all right? I need y'all, thanks.
They have a great supply of selection of cleaning products. That's why I'm here.
Weirdly, a lot of paint at Lone Depot. It's very odd.
I like mine in the new value packs. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. I guess we ought to get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice over the next couple of days, and our temperatures will stay comfortable today and tomorrow before we start heating up a little bit on Wednesday. We're expecting low 70s and sunshine through the day. Overnight will be clear, down to about 45. We'll move into the mid 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday. Lots of sunshine and a little bit breezy. Mid 80s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, we're looking at 56 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 40%. Winds currently out of the east at 8 miles per hour. For today, expect mostly sunny skies. 72 for a high. Not too bad there. Winds will be out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So, pretty nice day, way I see it. My kind of day. I dig it. For tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 43. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny and 76 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 early, picking up 15 to 20 for the afternoon tomorrow. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 51 degrees and south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, they're saying there's a chance of sprinkles for the afternoon. Not even full-on rain, just a chance of sprinkles. So maybe I'll take it. I don't care if it's not much. I'll take it either way. Mostly sunny, high of 86 on Wednesday. South winds 10 to 15. Thursday, sunny, back into the 90s, 93. Friday, sunny and breezy, highs right around 90. And then looking at the weekend, sunny and 87 for Saturday, sunny and 92 on Sunday. So enjoy cooler temps next couple days as it warms up here on the back half of the week. All right, it is 7:20. Let's go ahead and get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. Then we'll take a quick commercial break and play our interview with Tracy and Peggy from the Roswell Public Library. That's on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good end of April run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high quality wean calves, yearlings, cow-calf pairs. We expect to sell 1,700 head, breaking down like this: 150 to 200 weighing cows and bulls, 125 to 150 pairs and bred cows, 1,350 to 1,400 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 30 to 35 cow-calf pairs, excellent quality, 90% black Angus and Brangus crosses. These pairs are kind of with Angus calves at side, 4 to 10 years old. 15 bred cows: Mr. James Everidge, Pinon, New Mexico, excellent quality black crossbred cows, bred to Angus, 3 to 9 years old. 70 Corriente steers, Rotomel Ranch, Gill, Colorado, solid colored native Corriente steers, 10 to 12 head, kind of in the 400-pound weight range. The remainder weigh 525, 625 pounds. 219 yearling steers, 2T partnership in Walker Wells Ranch, Pecos, Texas. Reputation quality, cattle weaned 200 days, 90% Angus. 3 rounds of shots, PI tested negative, right off short wheat, 650, 850 pounds. 139 calves and light yearlings, Animas Foundation, Animas, New Mexico, good quality black white face Angus crosses. 1 round of shots, thin condition, 200, 600 pounds. 52 heifer calves, Frying Pan Ranch, Midland, Texas, quality black white face, red white face English crossbred heifers, cattle weaned, thin condition, 450 pounds. 49 calves, ZH Cattle Company, Silver City, New Mexico, quality black white face Angus crosses, cattle weaned Thanksgiving, shots, 400, 600 pounds. 26 light yearlings, Kendall Wilson at Carrizosa, New Mexico, quality red Angus crosses, cattle weaned, shots, 500, 650 pounds. Sale time this morning will be at 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 10:30. Be selling calves and yearlings around 11. We expect to sell 1,700 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The weather is heating up. Time for new beginnings and time to get a new vehicle for you and your family. Richland Chevy Buick GMC and Richland Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram both have amazing spring deals on both new and pre-owned vehicles. You'll find a huge inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Or better yet, customize your new vehicle. Order it today and build the vehicle of your dreams. Right now, Richland is offering top dollar for your trade. And with the Richland Brand Champion program, you can ride with confidence knowing you are taken care of long after the sale. Ride for the brand that rides for you. Richland, where service is always job one.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The verb form of the word run has been calculated to have almost 650 different meanings. So think about that the next time you run up your tab at the bar and then run into a friend while you run away from the bartender. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Public Library, we have Tracy Fry and Peggy Bullen back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
In unison, look at this. Y'all, it's Friday. Everyone's happy. It's hard to be in a bad mood on a Friday.
I know.
Isn't it?
Unless you work on the weekends.
Yeah, unless Friday's not your Friday. That's true.
But that's okay.
And I'm guessing your Saturdays are busier because people are off work, so there's probably more people coming to the library and utilizing the library when they're off. So
with the new Play and Learn Center, they are.
Yes, this is.
It is so cool.
This is cool. This is. I was kind of mentioning this in the 7 o'clock hour this morning, but yeah, was it earlier this week it unveiled, or was it last week? I can't remember.
The person finished installing it on Saturday.
On
totally.
Saturday. Okay. So, I got it on Monday, the press release. But, the library has just opened, just a couple days ago, opened this big interactive play and learn area for kids there at the library. It's kind of enhancing the children's area quite a bit, actually.
Very much.
It's going from, like old Chevette Pinto to like Corvette now. It's getting little, Just kidding, but it is pretty cool. So let's tell folks what's kind of some of the stuff the kids can do in the play area.
Okay, it's actually for our little kids, so the big kids can come in and they can play, but just be aware.
But geared towards kids that aren't of reading level yet, maybe, or
they can be at reading level. This is like lower elementary.
So like second or third on down or something. Okay, perfect.
But everyone's invited to come and check it out. When you first walk into the children's area, there is a boat, and it has little interactive things on it, so the kids can spin things and
motor skills type stuff, and things like that. Okay.
And then also there is in each thing there's something hidden that's like from Roswell. So Enid,
like a little nugget, a little piece of information, a tidbit.
Correct.
Okay.
So our director Enid, she sent in a lot of stuff like I think it was like a little pin from that says Roswell, New Mexico, that's in our car.
Oh,
which you can see on the picture. You have a picture of the car, but the green car on the next page.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So it has like junk, it has a junk in the trunk area, and it has like but it has like little things that have a little Roswell meaning, and so the kids can sit in the car. And actually, I saw a parent yesterday. They were sitting. It's like a bench seat.
Yeah,
in
there's
the
like a
back.
little bench there. I can kind of see right here.
And the kid was driving, and the parent was like swaying side to side, like he was going crazy, driving crazy. So it was kind of fun.
Adding to the experience, like slow down. That's fun. That's
and
great.
then in the Malone room, which is in the children's area, is that whole wall, which is like a skyline of Roswell.
Okay.
And so it has a Chavez courthouse. It has the what else is on that? It has a truck.
Okay.
It has
some of the downtown buildings, like in the skyline there, kind of thing.
Even has the light poles we
Yeah,
have
the light
downtown.
poles.
Oh, the
aliens.
alien headlight poles. Cool.
Of course. And then we have magnets on there so the kids can play with the magnets and gears. So it's pretty cool.
And there's a little space section.
Oh, there's a rocket area.
We
that
gotta
has
have some of
Goddard
that.
pictured in it.
So it's all like just little bits of Roswell history kind of put together in this fun way where kids get to spin the wheels and play and pretend they're driving cars and doing these cool things. And then they're kind of seeing, and then it's like, hey, Mom, Dad, what's that thing? And then they tell them, and and then they learn about Roswell and learn about this. And it sounds really cool. And I think and like you said, it's actually, this is for kids, but it's a great way for parents and kids to interact as well and engage and do things. Like you said, Mom and Dad are, they're along for the ride in the car while the kid's driving in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. So good deal. So come, if you haven't seen it yet, come out to the library during library hours when it's open and come check it out. Come bring your kids. Now, like you said, anybody can come check it out, but let's leave it to the little kids for them to play.
Right,
I know.
and we don't want kids climbing on or anything like that.
I know.
We want it to.
But I get it. Some people want to touch and do everything too, and
they're more than welcome to touch.
I'm one of those people like, what's this thing do? I'm just as bad.
Yeah.
I'm a 7-year-old in a 48-year-old, 49-year-old body. So
I was waiting for you to say in a 25-year-old body.
Very good, but excellent. So that's full ready to go now, and come and enjoy it here. But that's the tip of the iceberg. You guys have always, and especially now that we're getting closer to summer, summer reading program, it's getting busy, and we'll get a lot busier here at the library over the next couple months too.
Yes,
definitely.
Good deal. So where do you want to start with some of the weekly activities, or we got some special events we want to highlight first?
I want to highlight a special event which is happening next Saturday.
Okay.
It's called Children's Day.
Okay.
And we're going to have a little celebration, Children's Day books. We're basing our celebration on a book called Book Fiesta.
Okay.
So we invite the parents and the children to come in from 11 to 1. Will be games. There'll be a reading of the book called Book Fiesta.
Okay.
There'll be cupcake decorating. There'll be crafts. And then in the afternoon, afterwards we'll have a movie. We'll be watching because of Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
Winn-Dixie movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah. So it's literally a fiesta.
Exactly.
So come out, read the book. Let's get the kids reading, and like I said, they'll be reading it for so if kids younger and things and can't read, then it's like story time.
Right.
And
Diana's in charge of it, and she's gonna do a story time with it.
very good.
And we might even have some characters dressed up as Encanto characters.
Oh, some of the casts, some of the characters from the book here and everything too. Which the Encanto movie is very popular on Disney right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine, that's going to be a big hit for the kids to see those characters come to life. I've even seen that movie, and that's weird. I don't have kids, so
you're a 7-year-old.
it's true. But over Christmas, when that movie came out on Disney Plus, I was visiting my family, my brothers, and so he's got 2 younger sons, and so we all sat and watched Encanto together one night.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good. For all the singing and stuff, it's not my cup of tea, but I get other people. I'm weird. I know that. I don't need singing, but I know Louisville people love it. So you love singing, you love it.
Yeah.
Like me, not so much.
You just fast forward through the singing.
I read through my stories. Oh, I get it.
Fast forwards.
Yeah, but with kids, they get it.
Or mute the singing.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, they were the ones that introduced me to Hamilton on Disney too. Those 2 kids loved Hamilton, which I thought was surprising, because they're they're like the elementary school age. They would in essence be right in the wheelhouse of the group that's playing with the new. So to me, for them to have the attention span and the enjoyment of it, I think they love. Now, in all fairness, my brother and my sister-in-law, they do a lot with the kids and work with them, but they both went to the SUNY Maritime Academy in in New York City. And basically where they go, it's there's a place there called Fort Schuyler and all that, and actually the lineage of that is the Schuyler family in Hamilton, if you've seen Hamilton. Hamilton's wife and all that, they're the Schuyler family. So that's the relationship, and so my youngest nephew of the 2, his middle name is Schuyler for that. They went to school. So they have that connection to Hamilton, and I think my brother kind of put that into them. And so, but now they watch it and then how kids, they watch things not once but 5,000 times. And so we're watching, they're like, oh, here's my favorite part, here's this part, and I'm like, how do you know this? Like, you're like 6. But so anyway, I got sidetracked, but I thought I would share with Encanto got me onto that. So but definitely. So what's the date of the book fiesta again? That's next Saturday?
Yes, April 30th. It's from 11 to 1.
Perfect.
It's the games and the cake decorating and the story time, and then at 1 o'clock they're going to start the movie.
Okay. And do they need to pre-register or just show up?
No, just show up. It's a come and go event. So
Very good.
You have some place to go at 12, just come at 11 and
Gotcha. Whenever you're available, come and spend a few, but maybe allow yourself enough time to hear the story, participate in all the activities and things.
And decorate a cupcake and eat one.
Yeah. Yeah. and unless you got the discipline to decorate the cupcake and take it home first.
That would be,
that takes a lot of discipline to do that.
It does.
It's possible.
It does. It is possible, I guess. They should bring a little container there for it.
Tip is eat first. Then you have
There
a better chance of making it. If you didn't eat first, you're done.
That's right.
You might as well just start eating the cupcake while you're making it.
Eating the frosting.
That's a good move. It's like, oh, wait, I'm out of frosting. I need to redecorate.
May I have another cup?
That's right. It's a good move. What's next that we want to highlight here?
So, excuse me. We're still having our story times on Tuesdays. Mother Goose on the Loose at 10:30, and Mother Goose on the Loose in Spanish at 5 p.m. on Tuesdays.
Nice. Okay.
And our music and movement story time at 10:30 on Wednesdays. We still have Crochet Club on Fridays at 3 p.m. And after the book fiesta, we're just kind of going to gear up for summer reading.
Summer reading after that.
June 6th, which will be a big
It's right around the
kickoff.
corner.
Right.
So I imagine next time you guys are in, we'll probably talk more about what's on tap for summer reading.
Yes.
What the prizes, what the books, what's all the requirements for this year's summer reading
And
program.
the entertainers that are coming, because we have entertainers coming, so that's
Very
cool
good.
this year.
Yeah,
And
really
I'm
neat.
assuming the adults can participate again
Yes,
in the
it's
summer
adult
reading?
summer reading.
So adults, this is not just for the kids. They have an adult version of the summer reading program. So
Right.
I know you may not be into some of the kids, different shows and things that are part of summer, but yeah, it's the same, works the same. And to be honest, if you do it with your family and your kids, and you've got children that aren't of age to read on their own yet, you reading them books counts for them and you in the summer reading program.
Right.
I'm assuming none of that changes.
Nothing.
But we'll talk more about that next month. Here.
Right.
But when we talk about it, I'm telling you, for all you folks out there looking to get involved and do things through this summer reading program's a great one because it helps. Obviously, your kids can encourage them to read and keep reading, but they win prizes for reading.
Right.
They get all kinds of cool stuff. They get incentives to do it.
Right.
And the cool part is, as long as it's a library book, it's the world's their oyster. There's no
right.
They don't have to read books that are required of them per se. If they want to read one that interests them because it's about kittens or about space, whatever it is, they can read about it. You know,
right.
That's and it all counts. So, but like I said, we'll talk more about that here probably next month here. So.
Right. And we still have our Raise a Super Reader and Be a Super Reader program going on where the children read, the younger children up to age 5 read, if they can read 1,000 books before they hit kindergarten, they get a cape.
Oh, nice.
And we still have the Be a Super Reader, which is the elementary school up to grade 6. If they read 500 books, because they're going to be reading a lot of it on their own at a certain point, they get a medal.
That's cool. So if you're just hearing about that, want to get in the programs, please reach out to the library.
It's free.
And it's all free of charge, and it's all fun ways to get your children to get more involved in reading. And it's kind of like it's almost like putting the cheese on the pill when you're giving it to the dog kind of thing. Yeah. This is where disguising it as a fun and cool thing they get, and they accidentally learn, broaden their vocabularies and learn to read more proficiently and hopefully adopt a love for reading books on their own. Right. So, there was something I was going to ask you, and it just slipped right out of my head. Oh, I know what it was. And this is not really a question, more of a advice too. You mentioned story time there. That's the weekly event. Like you do the Mother Goose in English in the mornings, and then the Spanish version in the afternoons at 5 o'clock.
Right.
I would say take your kid to both if you can.
Yes. Definitely.
I think it's a great opportunity because, and we've talked about this, kids are sponges. They absorb things. Right. That's why you see a lot of, in other places, not so much the United States, but other parts of the world, where they teach foreign language, these kids in 1st, 2nd grade, those early development, not when they hit high school. Right. By that time, it's, it's a lot harder to, and so for them to absorb it, so, maybe this is a chance to get, if your kid's proficient, English is their primary language or Spanish, doesn't matter. Go to both. Go to the give those kids that aren't exposed to Spanish an opportunity to learn and surround themselves with it and pick up. I mean, obviously, we're not going to have them speaking Spanish after this is over, but they'll pick up words, they'll pick up things, and you do that enough. They're immersed and they know it. And same thing with English. You want to teach these kids English and their Spanish, their prime. Have them go story time. Have them watch TV, have them do all the things in English, and they're going to, I don't know how many friends like myself, my brother, like that college my brother went to, his roommate was Russian, from Russia.
Oh, nice.
And of course, he had been living in the United States most of his youth in New York City there, but he learned English watching TV. Yeah. Like it was constantly watching TV. And I'm not going to lie, if you talk to him, if you talk a short conversation, you probably never know he's Russian. It's just when you had a lengthy conversation and some of the accent slips out in certain words, and you're like, okay, definitely. He's Russian. But if you just had a short, quick couple sentences, you probably wouldn't even know he's Russian. Yeah. He was that proficient in it. So. Yeah. But my point was, expose your kids to as much foreign language as possible. The early you can, you're gonna do them a service down the road by doing that.
And the bilingual one on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. It is a lot of English-speaking kids that are coming because they want their. Good. So it is bilingual. She'll do the story in English and
so they kind of understand what's going on.
Right.
Gotcha. So if they're learning Spanish or vice versa, English trying to translate it into they can kind of understand the story regardless if they understand Spanish or English. So very cool. Which is how we learn.
Exactly.
What else do we want to mention?
Do you want to mention anything about your camp convention or?
Well, Camp Convention is June 6th through the 10th.
Yes.
And that's a huge thing coming up.
Do we have any deadlines coming up as far as discounts? I know there was one, but I think it ends in May, doesn't it?
I think it's May 15th.
May 15th for
$15 off.
discount.
Explore 15 is the code.
If you go to invent.org, that is the Camp Convention, which is the Inventors Hall of Fame. They're the ones who put this camp together. It's a national camp.
Yeah, we're partnered with them.
Yeah, it's a national camp. There's camps just like this one throughout the country, and it's a week of day camp STEM fun where the kids get 4 different projects that they'll work on through the course of the week, and this is for pretty much all elementary age kids. There is a LIT, which is kind of like your counselor and training program,
and that's for middle school
age kids, and that's a discounted price. But you get to learn and play, but you also get to be some leaders and kind of help manage the group and help the counselors, plan events and work on the events and things as the camp's going on there too.
Right, it's so much fun.
Yeah, but invent.org, and then you're going to see a thing, find a camp near you. There's a link or a button, I don't remember exactly, but you'll see it's pretty right there in front.
Right.
Type in Roswell, New Mexico, and you'll see all the information for Camp Invention, times, costs, everything else, and if you put in the code, which I don't have handy,
Explore 15.
Explore 15, you're gonna save $15 off that price. Now,
I have the scholarship money too.
And that's the other one thing I want to mention real quick. If you need a partial scholarship to help pay the $15, because it's like $255 for the entire camp, and you're like, I can't. I can't afford that.
Yeah.
I get you. It's hard times.
Yeah.
I get it. And then, by the way, you're paying $20 for a hamburger everywhere you go. So I get you.
There's no dollar hamburger anymore. You notice?
I hear you. So, but if you need a partial scholarship, then call Peggy Bolin direct, and we'll make sure she gives her number here. But and talk to her direct, because those scholarships are not through the website. Right, that's handled here locally.
Yep.
So we asked it. But if you don't need any financial aid, by all means, sign up through the website, use the $15 code or not. That's up to you.
Right.
And sign up that way. Also, the camp runs from 9 to 3?
3:30.
9 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. Yep. However, if they do offer an extended camp for a few dollars more, and so it's like more camp, and it goes from 7:30 to 5:30. 5:30. So if that actually works better for your schedule because of your work schedule and things, I encourage you to do that.
Costs a little extra, but
it does cost a little extra, but and I'm going to say this, that the extra 4 hours there, 3 hours that they're going to be there, they're not
day.
just is they're doing more class, more camp, more fun, more stuff. It's kind of an extra level of that for some of these kids, because they're not just sitting there waiting for you to pick them up at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day waiting for camp to start. They're starting their stuff
engaged.
already. So absolutely.
Yeah, my phone number is 575-420-9955.
Very good. And of course, I think we got you on next week talking camp convention too.
I think so.
I remember right off top. I think next Friday. Now that I think about it. But yes, it's a great, and as I've said the times we've talked camp convention with Peggy here. In the world we live in today, now we're coming out of COVID and things like that, but we've got really a couple years of some kids that are really behind the eight ball on getting caught up on their science, math, STEM-related stuff, or education in general.
Exactly.
Therefore, to make up for that, things like Camp Invention are more than just a fun week for kids. I think they're almost necessary. For some of these younger kids. Now, it is a fun week for kids and all that, but
they're learning so much.
Instead of it being an extra, I almost think it should be a requirement now for some of these kids, just because the world we're in. They get a chance to because it's only going to get harder for them from here in education.
Right.
The higher grades they get, the more complex, the more things they do.
Yes.
So if they're lost now, imagine how that's going to snowball as they get to more advanced things. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. So
and that's why the library, the library is so important too.
Absolutely.
Lovely voice right now.
It's allergy season. We all got. I've been heavy on my Nasacort this week.
So between with the library, with all their books and all their resources,
exactly same thing.
I mean, it's so useful.
Parents, if you
and
need
STEM
those,
at home kits.
That's another thing. If you need resources and options, reach out to the library. Peggy's put together a plethora of these STEM at home kits, and you can kind of use them. Check them out every couple days. And
during
just
the summer, it would be ideal.
And that way you can keep your kids at practice doing this stuff, and maybe even expanding and learning upon that.
Right.
But these are all great options. And of course, just encouraging, signing up for the summer reading program, signing up for these extracurricular events where they're reading and doing, where all of this stuff is stuff that's going to benefit your kid, especially when they've been lacking getting a lot of this stuff. for the last couple of years in school, and this is so important. So please, the library, camp and bench, these things are your absolute friend, and they could be the difference for making your child's success that much easier. I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it on your own, but it's hard. It's hard when you're trying to do it, and if you don't even know what direction to go in, it's hard. Right. It's really hard. So utilize these resources. That's why they're here. That's why they're available. Shoot, if money's an issue, 99% everything at the library is free of charge.
Yes, everything is free, and then they can come in and ask us what they need. You know, and we can at least steer them in the direction to get it. And if we don't have it, we can tell them where they can possibly find it.
Yeah, and camp invention, like I said, if you're balking at 255, that's why Peggy has the part. We've said it. We do not want money to be the reason why these kids aren't going. We'll figure it out. She's not going to offer full scholarships because we want invested stake on the family side as well. And studies show, if you contribute a little, then you got investment in it and all that. So we can't make it free for you, but we can definitely help you out enough to where it is affordable for your new family if you do. And to help keep that going, let me throw this other plug. If there's anybody out there listening that'd like to donate to Camp Invention, every time you donate, that's what this money's used for, those scholarships. We had some awesome donors that have really helped out not only this year but in years past. But that does dry up at some point, and so we want more people donating and things like that. So if you're listening and saying, that's a great idea, I'd like to give $100 or a couple $100 to Camp Invention to help with scholarships, we'd love to have that, and I guarantee you, every single penny you donate will go back to help one of these kids go to camp. If it's not this summer, next summer.
Yeah, families with 3 kids call. Yeah. The parents call with 3 kids in elementary, and they're
dropping close to $1,000 to go to camp for 3 kids. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
I can help all 3.
Yeah.
Let's get those kids to camp. So, I mean, the amount of kids doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Getting the kids there is what counts.
It's the work that's going to be done that week at camp.
Yes,
and trust me. And we'll talk next week about it, but they do these fun projects. They do a lot. Go invent.org. You don't have to wait for us to talk about it next week. Go to invent.org. You can read it online, see the different projects. You can see everything. You see the history of Camp Invention. So if you want to do your research and homework all about Camp Invention, go to invent.org. You'll have a weekend of fun reading all that stuff.
Exactly.
Any other library stuff we want to make sure we get out there before?
Well, you have a STEM class on May
5th,
4th. Which are
it's on a Wednesday.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Is it a Star Wars themed STEM class on May the 4th?
Oh, May the 4th be with you.
But
May the 4th be with you.
But what we're doing is we're going to be looking at NASA mission patches.
So space.
And space.
So it's kind of Star Wars.
And then they'll be creating
their own. Without the trademark infringements.
Yeah.
There you go.
But they'll be creating their own, and I'll make a button for that. One of those pin buttons.
Oh, cool.
So what they make will be made into a button, and then they can take it with them.
Nice. And that's those classes are great. You have so many because it really. I'm telling you, STEM class is kind of like the adventure. Like we talk about reading books and going on an adventure. STEM's the same way. I mean, all the cool things we're pushing envelopes, going farther into space than we farther before, learning things about. That's all STEM, man. That's all pushing the envelope. That's all. When we, it's to me, we're kind of almost in a new renaissance of space. Like the 60s got big with the moon race and all of that, and then it kind of faltered in the 70s and Space Shuttle, but it was nowhere the level of the 60s. But I think with Mars and with these private companies now jumping on board, I think we're entering a new era of space, and so these classes, these STEM things, are preparing these kids because when we're old and dusty and crusty and sitting on porches, these kids are probably going, yeah, we got the moon base trip this weekend. You know what I mean? And so
let's go.
Yeah. So I think sign them up for these classes and let's have some fun with all this. And they probably learn you a thing or two. Your kids.
Well, they don't have to sign up. They just show up.
Just come on out and be a part of it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's at 4:30 on May 4th, and that'll be our last STEM class.
It's the 4th. I thought it was the 5th. Let's see. 30.
Let's see. We got the calendar right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's 4th.
Okay, I shouldn't have doubted you. I
did the flyer.
Tracy's like, never doubt Tracy. I know all.
I just pretend to know it all.
I tell people I know it all. I just can't remember it all at once.
There you go.
There you go.
Of course, if you have any questions about anything we're talking about here, don't hesitate to reach out. Call the library direct. What's the library's main number there?
575-622-7101.
Very good. Also, if you follow the Roswell Public Library on the two big social medias are Facebook and Instagram, you can follow, and I encourage you to do that because you get to see, like when they do Lego nights, they'll put some of the projects up of the kids or the families that do. So different, whenever there's a new program or new event coming up, that's one of the first places you'll learn about it there. So get that. You can always go to the Roswell Public Library's website, which is through the City of Roswell's website. If you go to roswell-nm.gov, there is a tab there for the library. There is a direct link, but you'll never remember it, so just click on that. A lot of dashes and dots.
Or just Google Roswell Public Library.
Exactly.
That's my go-to.
New Mexico.
Unless you want to
New
learn about the
Mexico,
Georgia Library, which I'm sure it's a fine library, too. I've never been there. And then finally, a great way to stay up to date is at the beginning of each month, come on by and pick up the monthly calendar from the front desk and then put it up on your refrigerator there. And that way you can kind of plan ahead and say, all right, we got these events these days. Let's make sure that we're free those days so we can go to those events and things. So all those are available to you free of charge. And of course, all of the stuff we talk about is free of charge. And you can and if you do not have a library card, get one. It's free. It's free. And as long as you turn your books on time, it'll never be a dime. It's kinda, And the world literally is your oyster. And I love when families do when a child reaches a certain age and they deem that now it's appropriate age to get a library card. I love making a big deal out of that, letting the kid come and kind of maybe for a younger kid you buy them their first wallet. You know what I mean? And say, you got a card you got to put in there now. Let's get you first one. And you put $1. That's the rule. That's always the rule. If you give somebody a wallet and you don't put cash in it, you're doing it wrong. That's kind of what you're supposed to put. Even if it's $1, you got to put. It's a good luck thing. You're setting them up for failure if you don't put $1 in there, or stop giving people wallets. That would be the other. But I love when families do that kind of stuff to it. Give them that like they're stepping a threshold into being a more mature person. And I love doing. And when you do that, I think the kid cherishes that product so much better, and we'll use it that much. But now they got an excuse, and they want to go to the library just to use the card as much as they check out books. And then they accidentally find books they like, and here it goes. So, yeah, so come on, do it. So.
Yes.
Is there anything we missed?
I don't think so. Our library park is coming along. Remember we were talking about that. They put the cement down, and the library park is on Richardson behind the library. And so we're slowly getting it to the point.
So it's a little bit tricky to get around there, but patience and
we'll probably be doing programs out there that we need to do out there. Like if we do snow cones, that'd be a great place versus that stuff splattering all over.
You don't want that red and blue stuff all over the floors and
the walls. My library director would kill me if she saw it on the wall. So.
It's for the kids. Oh, very good. But yes, more that will be bigger, better, and look for it here especially when those things heat up in the summer.
Yeah, Enid, our director, is trying to do a lot of innovative things. Like she's ordered a story walk that's gonna. Cool. We're supposed to be getting it probably in the beginning of May, and so it's like a lot of little things just to invite people in to come check out the library.
Make the library a friendly place to come and visit. It's no different than when you're driving in a place you're not familiar with and you start seeing cool looking buildings and things. You went, let's check that out.
What's that?
No difference. Yeah, the library's like, oh man, look at the tree, look at the park. Yeah, let's go there. That looks like a lot of fun stuff happening. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's useful marketing, I guess you say. Physical, in some way, shape, or form. It's a product you physically use, but at the same time, it kind of draws the eye and draws a lot of people. Curb appeal a little bit there.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a great weekend, and
you too.
We'll see you next time. And don't work too hard. I know that's easier said than done.
Of course not.
But I know librarians, you guys, like every librarian I've met, like they're task oriented people. So like when they get set in their mind that this is the project, there's
it's hard to get them off that distraction. It's hard to distract them from that.
I'm planning all the way till December right now, so there you go.
I know how librarians think a little bit here, so I know you're going to, and what ends up happening is something that probably could have been done, but because you're you're like, no, and then you're overthinking and I know all about that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
A little bit here. So I know you're going to, and what ends up happening is something that probably could have been done, but because you're you're like, no, and then you're overthinking and I know all about that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
All right, it is
now for your
9:54.
Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. We begin on the crime beat first in Roswell, where a man has been arrested for the shooting of a teenager last week in the 1300 block of Adams Avenue in southwest Roswell. Juan M. Silvas is charged with aggravated battery along with child abuse. Police had executed search warrants at several homes and discovered Silvas at one of them trying to flee out a window. According to RPD spokesperson Todd Wildermuth, Wildermuth said investigators determined the teen victim and Silvas had been in an argument over a threat that Silvas allegedly made against a woman Tuesday night. State environmental regulators are reviewing plans submitted by Mosaic Potash to investigate and define the extent of groundwater contamination from discharges associated with potash mining along the Pecos River. The State Environment Department announcing earlier this month that contamination had been detected in nearby groundwater monitoring wells and that the company was required to submit a plan for monitoring and dealing with the pollution. Potash mining is a main economic driver in Eddy County. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Well, we thought going into it that the Roswell Coyotes might have a chance against Hobbs in softball action. They played a doubleheader on Friday. Yeah, they had a chance. They blew out the Eagles in 2 games. The first time they played, they were close losses to Hobbs. This time, Roswell wins the first one, 15-5. Sarah Morales and Yadira Aragon both homer for the Coyotes. Emily Esquivel has 4 RBIs. And then the second game, it was 19-8. Maria Lozano, senior for Roswell, homers in that one, and so does Morales, Aragon, and Esquivel. Roswell next plays against Carlsbad, a doubleheader tomorrow at home. That starts at 2. That's going to be big. Goddard, meanwhile, gets blown out by Artesia in 2 games on Saturday, 13-1 and 13-2. Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. American Express first quarter profits fell roughly 6% from a year earlier, but the company saw a 30% jump in spending on its namesake cards in the quarter as its card members returned to their habits of shopping, traveling, and dining. The New York-based company posted a profit of $2.1 billion, down from $2.24 billion a year earlier. Taking aim at hate speech, disinformation, and other harmful content online, the European Union is nearing agreement on a sweeping law that would force big tech companies to police themselves harder, make it easier for users to flag problems, and empower regulators to punish non-compliance with billions in fines. EU officials were negotiating late Friday night over the final details of the Digital Services Act, which would overhaul the digital rulebook and cement its position as the global leader in reining in power of social media companies. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Whether you're buying or selling, no one likes to be pressured into making a decision. So when Roswell Ford makes an offer to buy your vehicle, you'll have 7 days to think about it. Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks like yours, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot. It'll probably be more than the other guys, and we'll give you a week to think about it. That's just the way we do business at the Tailgate Nation. So it only makes sense to see us first when you're ready to sell or to buy. Roswell Ford has southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of nice pre-owned vehicles. Each one has survived a rigorous 139-point inspection. And Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. With the days getting longer and summer driving on the horizon, now's the time to start shopping for your next vehicle. So come see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, where we'll always give you time to think about it. 9th and Main.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or the frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county, or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Stay tuned. Town Hall News next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. There is speculation that Ukraine just might have had something to do with a spectacular fire. It's engulfed a couple of military-related Russian oil depots located less than 100 miles from the border with Ukraine. Secretary of State Blinken says that he and Defense Secretary Austin met with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Kiev.
We expressed deep admiration for his leadership, for the extraordinary courage of Ukrainians in standing up to and pushing back this Russian aggression.
The BBC's Joe Inwood in Lviv.
The United States has been, without question, the biggest backer of Ukraine, of its war effort, and that's been financial. A huge amount of money, more announced yesterday, $3.7 billion in total, and now an extra $700 million yesterday. But there's significance in the visuals of them being here. It says something about how they think the war is going. The fact, although they haven't reopened the embassy, they say they're going to look at doing it. They think that Kiev is safe enough for two of their most senior officials to come and visit, and that tells you that they think the war is going in Ukraine's direction.
President Biden accepting an invitation to visit Israel in the coming months.
During a weekend phone call with Israel's prime minister, the president said he would travel to the Jewish state. However, neither country gave a date for the expected trip. Officials say the leaders discussed recent Israeli-Palestinian unrest in Jerusalem during their call, as well as their shared concerns about Iran's nuclear ambitions.
That's White House correspondent Greg Clugston. It's called Operation Lone Star. Townhall.com reporting the Texas border security operation netted 5 Honduran illegal immigrants, all men in their 20s. A successful mission last night on the Texas side of the border. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 384 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
China's capital, Beijing, has begun mass testing and shutting down residential and business districts amid a new outbreak of COVID. Less than 50 cases found in the city of more than 21 million since the outbreak surfaced on Friday. Residents are staying home. They're stocking up on food as a safeguard against the possibility that they could be confined to their homes, as has happened in multiple other cities, including the financial center of Shanghai. Shanghai has been locked down for more than 2 weeks now. The city reported 51 deaths in the latest 24-hour period, topping 100 deaths from the ongoing outbreak. Iran state TV says authorities have foiled massive cyber attacks that sought to target public services, both government and privately owned. The report says Iran thwarted the attacks that planned to target the infrastructure of more than 100 public sector agencies. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Well, here's a young man with big plans and the drive, determination, and the brain power to back them up.
13-year-old Elliot Tanner is on the verge of earning his bachelor's degree from the University of Minnesota with a major in physics and a minor in math. He's currently maintaining a 3.78 grade point average and is participating in undergraduate research while also tutoring classmates. Elliot's mom says he started reading and doing math by age 3, and then following a few years of homeschooling and a high school curriculum that took him 2 years to complete, he began taking college classes when he was 9. Tanner wants to be a high-energy theoretical physicist and ultimately a professor of physics at the university. Rhonda Rockstra reporting.
It's 5 more years for French President Emmanuel Macron winning a second term in office. He defeated firebrand populist Marine Le Pen in the weekend runoff in France. And again on Wall Street, the Dow down 410 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. The Deuce. Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Yes.
Happy Monday. Hope
Welcome
it's a
to it.
Good one. Goes
Happy
swell.
birthday!
Thank you. Thank you.
I completely spaced until he's like, it's my birthday today. I'm like, God, dang it.
Yeah.
And I used to be good at this. I used to be really good at like remembering everybody's birthday.
Yeah.
And then the Zuck came along and messed everything up for everybody. He made it to where it's the same thing with phone numbers. I used to be really good at like remembering phone numbers.
Yeah.
But then it like became a thing I didn't have to do anymore.
Sure.
So I stopped doing it.
Right.
So Zuck, I blame you.
Yeah.
You made me forget everyone's birthday.
You're right on the phone number thing, because when I was a kid, if I was, 13, 14-year-old young Michael Winters, I would have known every single one of my friends' phone number by heart, and I would have been able to speed dial it at any given location, any payphone on the planet.
I still remember my grandma's phone number is 795-7223.
Yeah.
She's not here anymore, so don't try calling it.
Nowadays, there's a 50-50 shot I'll get my wife's cell phone number right. You know, if it wasn't a button in my phone, I wouldn't know what it is.
Dude, if you had changed your phone number once in the last 15 years, I'd still be locked out of this building.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't, but you get what I'm saying.
I haven't changed it.
It hasn't changed since I met this man. His phone number has not changed.
No.
And I've somehow managed to memorize his number, and weirdly also our IT guy, KC, because you guys have very similar phone numbers.
We do.
So,
of course, he wasn't. We were... 3 of us ran a radio station by the seat of our pantaloons.
Yes. So it's sort of like important to know these numbers, especially considering back then the phone I had was like one of those. I don't remember. It was like an Alcatel, like with the little tiny screen and the polyphonic ringtones.
Oh yeah. I've had that same number my entire time I've owned a cell phone on this planet.
And actually, same for me. I mean, So years ago, this is how important I am, kids. Years ago, I was paid. Or I wasn't even paid. I was given a free Nokia Lumia 900 Windows phone.
Okay.
And asked to be an endorser for the Windows phone.
Well, apparently that didn't take off.
It did not.
Because we're not all using Windows phones.
That phone was a nightmare.
Yeah, he
But-
tried hard. I remember.
Dude, he was
trying to sell it. Everyone's like, "Dude, get a new phone." No, it's good.
Look at the haptic displays and the way you can actually resize your window pane.
He was turd polishing so hard.
This phone sucked so bad. I remember there was an app in the Windows App Store that you could download that was not Instagram, but would send you an email. This app app would notify you when Instagram became available for Windows phones. That was the whole purpose of the app, was to tell you when another app was available. It was bad, this phone, but with that phone is when I got my the number I still to this day have.
With the number sticks.
Number stands. Yep. It's been on. I always think, I guess I could change it, but it's on all these business cards, and I never give my business card out.
Right.
So I don't know what flag I'm trying to hold on to.
People take them. I usually don't give them. They just kind of sit there.
Right.
Somebody wants them sometimes. But yeah, I've never changed that number. But thank you for the happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big next year's the big 50, so it's 49 today.
You didn't even let me get the thing. I was like, how does it feel to be 35? It doesn't really work for dudes.
It
You
doesn't.
do that with girls.
We don't care as much about that.
Thank you.
Number. Yeah.
You de-age me, I'm going to be a little offended.
Yeah.
No, I've earned my stripes.
That's right.
Okay?
No, I was really dumb then. Now I'm just semi-dumb.
You think? Look at these laugh lines. You think laugh lines like these happen before 35?
Look at this lack of hair.
Look at these bags big enough to carry $50 worth of groceries. I just realized I was holding my earpiece. It just randomly slides off my glasses.
That's not good.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's not good at all. You could have a glass accident.
Yeah, take the thing off and then accidentally stab myself in the eye when I'm putting them back on.
Be a bummer.
It's a risk that I take.
But yeah.
I live on the edge, man.
I turned off my Facebook thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I don't want to make... Because I think people feel obligated,
Right.
and I'm like, you don't have to do all that.
I get it.
And then I feel obligated on thanking everybody, and then I'm like, I don't, and some people are just like, hey man, and then they put HBDTY and that's it. I'm like, don't worry about it, man. Appreciate it, thank you, but don't. I'm good.
No, I get where you're coming from, and I, to an extent, agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone who celebrates birthdays of special people, it's sort of. I mean, we have it forces me to remember stuff. You know? I don't like that. I don't like having to remember stuff.
You don't have to remember. That's just it. I really don't care.
No,
if
I know.
people
I get that.
Acknowledge or not acknowledge. I mean, sure, thank you. I'm appreciative, but I don't gain or lose stock in people whether they told me happy birthday or not.
I know the hack. I know the hack now.
Okay.
I'm gonna write you a nice birthday message on your Facebook. And then every year hereafter, I'll be reminded in my memories.
You're gonna like out me on Facebook.
Yeah. That's right. Well, the thing is, everybody who wishes you a happy birthday has to it has to be something significant, because if you just like put a HBD or something like that, that's not gonna pop up in your memories.
That's true.
You don't get every single post. They pick out significant ones. So it needs to be something significant that I'll be reminded of.
You don't have to.
You know what drives me nuts? And I don't know if you've seen this. If you ever go through your memories on Facebook, you get the ones from like 4 years ago where it's just like, haha, look at this, and you have like somebody tagged or whatever, and it's like, this content is not available. And then you go into the comments just for some kind of context clues, and they're like, happens every time. Like, what were we laughing about? I went in.
Just as it's funny, as we were talking about this, it just so happens Facebook notifies me of other people celebrating birthdays today on my Facebook
Yeah, it does
page.
it at either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It always waits until a little later. So the move is, if you want to be a good friend, you wish them a happy birthday at like 7. That's before you get your Facebook notifications. So you still knew, and they know you knew.
Gotcha.
Before the notifications.
And
Let
so,
you know.
Maybe you should let them know in said happy birthday notification. I'm wishing you happy birthday. Please note the time before the notification to tell everybody it's your birthday went out.
I got to it before the Zuck. Take that.
Yeah. So I just don't want to get all wrapped up in that game. So, I did it for couple years, and I was like, because I can't just not ignore them. I gotta, hey, thanks. I gotta, I don't even do the thumbs up. I'm like, hey, thank you. Even if you do a HBD TY, I'll be like TY.
TYVM.
So, I try to acknowledge when someone takes time to acknowledge.
TYVM PP or HTF.
Yeah.
How's the family? Question marks. And just have a whole conversation.
Let's have a PG, ABY, HBY. Sorry, but yeah, it's a thing. So, we got to play another interview. Better get going on it because it's got a little bit of a girth to it and length.
It's got a tail.
We're gonna have play an interview later this week. Purple Day is coming up this week, Wednesday, I believe. And Purple Day is a big fundraising day for the Royal Family Kids Camp. If you're like, what is that? Well, listen to this interview. We're going to tell you all about what Royal Family Kids is. That's right. Tabitha Denny and Kyla Williams joined us. As a matter of fact, Tabitha is going to join us Wednesday in the 7 o'clock hour for a little bit, just to remind us, say, hey, today's the day. Get your purple on. But if you want to help out, participate, donate money. It's a great camp, but we're going to play the interview for you here in just a little bit. So before we do any of that, though, let's take a gander at the weather. I like today. Today kind of makes me happy, even though it's like 72 today.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice over the next couple of days, and our temperatures will stay comfortable today and tomorrow before we start heating up a little bit on Wednesday. We're expecting low 70s and sunshine through the day. Overnight will be clear, down to about 45. We'll move into the mid 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday. Lots of sunshine and a little bit breezy. Mid 80s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, did I refresh? I did not. I'm a bad refresher. Let me refresh. There we go. Currently 57 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 39%. Winds currently out of the north at 13 miles per hour. Sunny today, 72 for a high. Winds will be out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Still a little cloudy right now. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 43. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, a little bit warmer tomorrow. Mid-70s, sunny 76. South winds 5 to 10 in the morning, but a little breezy for the afternoon. They're going to pick up 15 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 51. South winds 10 to 20. And then we start warming up for the rest of the week here. A chance of sprinkles. That's what they say for Wednesday. Not a percentage, not even full-on rain, just a chance of sprinkles for the afternoon. Mostly sunny, high of 86. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny, back into the low 90s, 93. Friday will be right around 90 and breezy. And then looking at your weekend, Saturday, sunny with a high of 87, sunny and 92 on Sunday. All right, it is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Tabitha Denny and Kyla Williams, talking Royal Family Kids, Purple Day, all of that. That's up next.
Roll in and save during the Moneyopoly event at Roswell Nissan with game-changing savings on a huge selection of vehicles like a 2017 Chevy Malibu for just $279 a month, a 2018 Escape for just $249 a month, or a 2015 Rogue for just $149 a month. Get a mini Monopoly board and play the Plinko Cash Grab for your chance at cold hard cash just for stopping by. Get a free trip to Vegas with a test drive and bring your mailer for the chance to win $50,000. Moneyopoly all month long at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
All right, let's get out the old grocery list here. Let's see, eggs, milk, bread, insurance. I don't want to shop for insurance.
Fortunately, you don't have to. George Gandy Insurance is here for you. Shopping and comparing rates from different insurance carriers to save you money, time, and hassle. Visit a George Gandy Insurance location near you today.
We keep you covered. George Gandy Insurance.
Sometimes we put off important health needs like surgeries because, well, we worry about the pain and time needed for recovery. Dr. Paul Torres, a board-certified general surgeon, has joined Loveless Healthcare Center and is helping patients in the Roswell area get back to the lives they love with less pain and a faster recovery through advances in minimally invasive surgery. To find out if laparoscopic surgery is the best solution for you, Call Loveless and make an appointment today at 575-625-3222.
There's a whole universe out there. Come explore at the International UFO Museum and Research Center, featuring engaging exhibits and in-depth first-hand accounts of the incident that put Roswell on the map. The research library features the most comprehensive collection of UFO research materials in the world, and you can get exclusive one-of-a-kind gifts and merch from the gift shop or online at RoswellUFOmuseum.com. Don't forget about the UFO Festival, July 1st through 3rd, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's otherworldly.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The word gorilla is derived from a Greek word meaning a tribe of hairy women. Mike recommends that if you see a tribe of hairy women, you don't call them gorillas. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us in studio this morning from Royal Family Kids here in Roswell, Tabitha Denny back with us, and Kyla Williams as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing today? How's everybody doing?
Doing good. Enjoying our weather.
Have a good Easter?
Yes.
Good deal. Got to spend some time with family and
and eat.
And a lot of eating.
Lots of eating.
So did you guys have ham? We were just talking about this earlier, as ham being kind of the unofficial food. I didn't have ham.
I didn't have ham.
Yeah, see, maybe it's weird. I mean, he was like, everybody says ham. I mean, I've had ham a lot on Easter, but I didn't know if it was like official or unofficial.
No, and I think actually, my son made us hamburgers and brats.
Nice.
It was
Cookout
really good.
Easter dinner. Yeah.
But with a grilled pineapple and
Nice.
sauteed. Oh, it's delicious.
I think if Christmas was warmer weather, we'd be doing the same thing for Christmas, too.
I think so, too.
I think that's the only reason it stops us. It's usually too cold to be out there grilling. That'd stop everybody, but, most of us, it kind of does. We're not here to talk about food, although I'm sure we'll get back to doing that.
Yes,
but Royal Family Kids here in Roswell. First off, before we talk about Purple Day and all that, we probably want to give some folks some background about it. Actually, this is not just local here. Royal Family Kids is it national?
It actually it's international.
International, but about I don't know, half dozen years ago, 8 years ago.
We're going on our 8th year.
8th year. Royal Family Kids was brought here to Roswell, and it's a great organization that works with helping abused, neglected kids, and these are kids right here in our own neighborhoods, here in Chavez County and surrounding areas. And these are kids that have rough lives, abused, foster home, multiple. Each kid has a unique story. But Royal Family Kids is all about giving these kids opportunities, chances. Each summer, the Royal Family Kids Camp takes place up in the mountains, and we get kids from all over the Pecos Valley here, really, come to the mountains and they have a week of fun camp, and that's what it is. It's not worrying about anything other than them up in the mountains, fishing, swimming, hiking, having fun, just being out in the woods and doing camp stuff. It's an all-volunteer organization of camp counselors that come for the week and are trained, obviously, because these are kids that helping because. Through the lessons of fishing and swimming and all that, they're learning how people should interact and families should interact, and they learn things about love. They receive love. They and in the hopes of that rubs off over a while, and they are able to give love and do the things that we as humans covet and want as part of our own lives. And at the end of the day, that's all that's about is giving these kids an opportunity to feel something that should be normal to every kid.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Is that pretty much
that's
it?
pretty much. That was really good. You should be on the radio talking about that.
That was great.
Yeah, and so April is kind of a busy month for Royal Family Kids. Purple Day is
April 27th.
April 27th, which is for the Royal Family Kids the biggest recognition day for the program. And really, it's all about raising awareness and funds.
Yes.
So you guys are asking people to support by wearing your purple, donning your purple. There's going to be signs. We'll talk all about that here in a second. But of course, supporting Royal Family Kids, whether it's you raising or donating money for Royal Family Kids, which, by the way, all of it goes back to the programs and everything for the camp, these kids. Or if maybe even if I get it, money's tight, you're like, dude, I just paid for Easter, I'm broke, I get it. at least, put a purple sign in your yard. Maybe wear a purple shirt in that day. Share it on your social media accounts. Get the word out there so as many people know that it happens, and then we can, where the problem getting to camp is, hey, we need to get more kids in here, not do we have enough money to pull camp off this
Absolutely.
year.
Exactly.
And that's what we want to have happen. So fill in the gaps a little bit here. Talk about Purple Day and more of the details that I kind of missed.
And that was a good transition in. One of the things with camp is because we are 100% volunteer based, and so all our funds are fundraised, donated. We don't get anything from the state or anyone else, but it's kind of like, did the chicken come first or the egg?
Right.
Because a lot of times that if we don't have the funds, it makes it difficult to take the kids, and if we have the kids, so it's kind of a little bit of both.
You can't have the funds without the kids, and you can't get the kids without the funds.
Correct. Yes. And it is not a fun conversation to have a list of kids' names and then to be like, where is our money at?
Right.
Do we have enough money to take these kids?
Yeah.
It is not a fun conversation.
No.
It's not. And unfortunately, what happens is, usually what happens when you probably fall into those situations, people that have step up every time, that they just give of themselves. It's like, all right, I'll cover it out of my own pocket. And we love those people, but they can't afford to do that all the
every
time.
time.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so we want to put this on people's radar. So, you always hear more hands make less work, and that's really what we're talking about here. I know we've been having this debate for 100 years, but we got roughly 50,000 people that live in the city of Roswell. Everybody contributed $1. $1.
That's a lot of money.
For your
It
kids,
is.
if you got 4 people in your family, give us $4.
Right.
And if everyone did that, $50,000 would go a long way to make sure Royal Family Kids would have an excellent camp this summer.
And one of the things with camp is we don't charge any of our foster families, so there's no fee for them.
Only thing they got to do is come and enjoy
Exactly.
it.
And what it does is it not only gives the kids a week to be a kid, because many of them have so many other things going on in their lives, it also gives our foster parents kind of a chance to rest for that week.
Sure.
And so it's kind of a double thing. It really, really helps. But because
allowing the parents to recharge their batteries while the kids are getting, makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so what we do is we fundraise. It's a cost approximately $500 per child to go to camp. And like you mentioned earlier, they get to do a whole slew of things while they're at camp. And so because we are volunteer run, you did talk about like training. So we have to vet our counselors and our volunteers.
The worst thing you want to do is have unqualified volunteers working with a bunch of kids that have already been abused and neglected.
Correct.
You don't want to make it worse.
Yes, most of them have all had some form of sexual abuse, physical abuse. And so we want to make sure that everybody that comes to camp is safe and, safe for our kids, safe for our volunteers to do that. And so we do have training that is a mandatory training and background checks.
Well, and it's going to be beneficial for the volunteers because we know you have a big heart. We know you want to come and help. But do you necessarily have the knowledge to break through to these kids? And that's where some of the training comes in. It's not just, it's teaching you how to make connections because these kids come from abused, neglected homes. I talk with enough people over at the Roswell Refuge to know when you're dealing with abused and neglected people, they build walls, they build barriers, they build things to protect themselves.
Yes.
And you've got to pick through that. They're not going to just let you in most of the time. You gotta work your way in and work through that armor to get to the core. And so that's where that training is because it can be probably very frustrating for your volunteers. They're just here to want to help them, and you got someone that's resisting, and it's not because it's just because they've been abused and they don't trust nobody. Right. And you've got to earn that trust.
And it's funny you say that because so many times that with these kids, they do have this walls built up. And so during that week, we're not there to give them therapy or doing. We're there that week is to show them love and that they're loved and God loves them and know that they are special. Because many of them have been told they are not. But during that week, it's funny. We'll have kids that come at the first of the week. We've had some that would not come off the bus when we get there. Some of them were just didn't want anything. And at the end of the week, we can't get that particular child on the bus to leave. Or they're the ones completely bawling and crying and doing that.
Because it made so many connections and friends.
So many to where they've let that guard and they realize that I am special and I can be loved and people love me and I'm not what I've had other people who are supposed to love me tell me that. And so that's one of the big things of why I can tell you after my first year of going, I said to myself after this, I was like, I will never miss a camp again. And that was 7 years ago.
What's going on here? Yeah.
Because not only do those lives of the children change, our lives change. It's very different. It's like at the end of camp, we're all like, okay, no more camp for a little while. And then we're like, can't wait for camp to get
But then
here.
you miss it after a while.
And then you miss it. And because you see that
it's
breakthrough.
exhausting to go through the camp.
It is emotionally, it is, and physically for some.
But when you're done, you're satisfied because at the end of the day, you're making differences.
Yes.
Every child that went through there that now has made a friend or has picked up a hobby or has realized that, you know, when
they are lovable.
Yeah, that you're loved and being a part of something's a good thing.
Absolutely.
And when they realize all that, then the camp is just hit a home run. That's exactly what it's there for.
Yes.
Who cares the kid can't fish afterwards?
Right.
It's not about learning to fish. It's about the experience of being there and you know what? We're here hanging out and just living life and hey, this is nice out here. The weather's nice and smells great and you know, it's just not worrying about what's going to happen later today. Correct. You know, they just, you know, what do they worry about? What are we cooking for dinner? That's the biggest worry of the day, you know?
Well, and that's one of the things, is that the kids, they get to have some choices in their life that week. Like if there's a particular activity and they don't want to do it, we are not going to make them go do it because these kids, you know, Kyla works with CASA, so she, you know, and I volunteer, but she actually works there. Yeah. But we see these kids are told what they're going to do and how they're going to do stuff, so they can't, they don't have those choices. And so for a week, for 5 days, they get to make some choices for themselves. And I think for all of us, that's empowering.
Absolutely.
And
they get to see that other kids that are in similar situations as them. And I think that's empowering for them as well, that they're not alone. And then at the end of camp, they get a photo book with photos of different moments that they've had throughout camp.
Sure.
And we use the word magical moments because that's our goal at camp. We want to create magical moments for them. And so as the therapist at CASA, some of these kids I get to see, you know, outside of camp.
Sure.
And one of the greatest things I'm always telling the team is the kids all throughout the year are like, do I get to go back to camp? Or, you know, remembering things from camp.
Sure.
And when they rode a horse for the very first time, they've never even seen a horse and they got to ride a horse, which is so cool.
And that's one of the cool parts of because you actually get to see, because like some of your volunteers, they only really get to see them at that week at camp.
Exactly.
So they don't get to see the improvements or the progression except for that week at camp.
Yes.
If they're repeat campers here. For you saw them beforehand and saw what they were going through, the struggles and things. You're seeing them at camp, seeing them negotiating some of that, and then you're seeing the end result where things that they were dealing with as problems prior to camp, they aren't such a big deal on the other side. They're kind of, I'm not saying they're going to come night and day different, but it's all part of that maturing, growing, learning, almost retraining the brains a little bit to say, you can trust humanity. There are humanity is a wonderful thing. I'm sorry. Your first part of life on it did not show you that. We can show you the other way and what it's really.
The camp goes until they're 12 years old, and then we have a little special something that we do for the kids to kind of transition them out of camp. You know, very special just for that age group on one of the nights. And so what's always interesting is as I'm going through the process, whether it's in therapy or just another aspect of CASA, they're already wanting to come and volunteer. They're already asking.
I was about to say.
And we just had our first, Mike, as a matter of fact, 2 years ago, we had our first kiddo that actually had gone through
as a camper.
Got to come back and volunteer. And for us, it's one of those bittersweet moments that we have to still have camp.
Yeah, first you're like, man, I'm getting old. And then second you're like, holy cow, this is cool. The circle of life is working.
Yes, and for them to come back, and Kyla touched on it, I think for the kids to see that it's not just them. But to have a kid that's coming back as a volunteer to go, I was in your place one time.
You hit a home run
with
that
there.
child,
And, you know, for them to come back. And so for us, I think that's one of those kind of amazing things.
That's the best evidence that you as an individual can have that what you're doing is making a difference. And because I was just thinking, you've been 8 years now. You're going to start hitting that point where some of your counselors and volunteers are going to be campers at some point. And now this last year was the first year you're seeing
Yeah,
that, and
year
probably gonna
before
be.
last we had, and then we had one last year too.
Good
Well,
deal.
because 20 we didn't have any, so 21
That was
we
COVID
did.
year, so
but
yeah.
we it was one of those that's really neat to see.
Yeah.
Some of those come back.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, we've got the kids. We need the bucks. We need
Yes.
donations here. Here on Purple Day, there's lots of ways. Talk about the volunteers, though. I know you guys always could use more counselors to be a part of camp. Like you said, there's training involved, but how does one start that process, and what's the obligation that they're committing themselves to?
So there's so many different roles for volunteers. So a lot of people we realize cannot take off a week and go spend at camp. So there's, we need prayers all the time. We need help we have a welcome home dinner. We have registration.
I should say
like
this is a faith-based Christian
It is faith-based,
organization.
but we're
yes.
not, so it's faith-based, but we're not it's not a church camp.
Gotcha.
Because we have children from the state, and so there's still
So
that
there's not like a
rules.
religion class
No,
or
so
nothing,
you're not
but-
going up and being baptized. You're not calling to the altar. The main thing is, when I say faith-based, it's that we're telling these kids that we love them and God loves them, and that they are special, they are royal. That whole thing is letting those kids
Sure.
know. Which
You're not
is
indoctrinating
exactly
Christian
no,
Christians or
that's
anything
not
like
any of that stuff. It's
Yeah.
just to let them
Sure.
know.
Unfortunately, in this day and age, we got to say that nowadays.
We do. It is unfortunate.
We live in a world
absolutely.
now where everyone wants to try to see through your see your intentions
Yes.
and find ill will there. And at the end of the day, there's nothing ill will about the Royal Family Kids Camp. We've got kids that, left to their own devices, are going to be dead or are
Right.
going to go down past that. And it's not fair to them, because all these kids, they were just handed a bad deck of cards.
Yes.
They got it. They were dealt a bad hand. That we talk about life and life not being fair, and that's absolutely true. And unfortunately, the kids that are part of Royal Family Kids are a direct product of
Yes.
that, and that's why the camp
Absolutely.
exists. Where you know what you got a really bad hand. You know what? We're going to show you that life doesn't matter what you got a bad head. We can still make have an excellent life, and show you what humanity's really about,
Yes.
and show you what it's like to be a good human.
It's planting those memories. I mean, I work with foster kids in my day job with treatment kids. And so, Kyle and I are probably, out of all of us, are pretty lucky where we get to see before and after to get that experience
Yeah.
to do it. So that part of it's really neat.
Sure.
But for our volunteers, they come from all walks of life. Some have had experience in trauma in their past. And that's part of the reason why we vet. We interview all our volunteers, because we want to make sure it's a good fit, not just for our kids, but for
Absolutely.
them, because we deal with adults that have not dealt with their trauma. And the last thing in the world we want to do is to trigger an adult while they're at camp.
Absolutely.
Or to trigger another child
Sure.
to do that. So it's vetted in that way. But
Sure.
for the most part, we've had only maybe a handful over the years to do that because of the reason. And we do, like I said, the background checks, because we also want to make sure that we're not placing these kids and we have with someone who could possibly hurt them.
Absolutely.
And so
Yeah.
there's some pretty strict
stringent,
rules.
yes.
And we do that for the protection of our kids and protection of our volunteers.
And I think most people understand that, and
They
for
do.
that reason are
They do.
very receptive to going
Yes.
through the process. To
Yes.
get, like you said, it could be a little invasive, a little bit annoying, but that's the part of what it is.
And
Because
you
at the
kind
end
of know
of the
that
day,
going in. Yeah.
because at the end of the day, the end game, what we're trying to do is worth that. That's why we
Absolutely.
do that, and that's and I think the other part too is your volunteers come away with so much. Even like you said, you two have you see it day in and day out. So I'm not saying you're jaded, but you know the real deal. You don't. It's not sugar coated
Right.
for you,
Exactly.
or it's not an image on TV for you,
Or it's not
something-
somewhere else, not
Yes.
in my community, or not next door to me. It's,
Yeah.
oh, it's in the other town, or it's not my home. And unfortunately, we see that it happens in
Sure.
places that you would never imagine.
Yeah.
And so it's becoming that, but it's giving those kids, that chance. And so our volunteers, at least 16 and up,
Sure.
our counselors, what we call our counselors. So we have a 1-to-2 ratio. So for every counselor, there's 2 kids.
That's an amazing number.
And so
ratio, by the
we
way.
do that for the reason, because we want those children to have all that attention to them for that week. And so we do that. So our counselors, though, do have to be 18 and up. They have to be adults. But we have other roles that happen to make camp work, because the
Takes a
planning
lot of
goes
people.
into it. It literally takes a village.
It does.
And so our planning pretty much, there's probably 3 months out of the year we're not planning camp. And now we're got in the groove, we're going. But with COVID happening and doing some of the other stuff, we lost some of our volunteers because one of the things they were in college and now they have to be grown-ups, and so they had to get real jobs. And so we're constantly, and so we're constantly having to do that. So we're kind of almost starting over again, per se.
So you kind of need a new batch, a new generation of volunteers to step forward.
Yes.
And even with, there's so many roles at camp, like Tabitha was kind of speaking on, we use the word support staff at camp. And that's maybe you just don't want to be a counselor, that's not your thing, or maybe you're 18 and under, maybe you're one of our 17-year-olds, so you're not quite there yet.
Sure.
But at camp, from the time the kids' eyes open until the time they go to sleep, there is something going on.
Yeah.
There's an activity. We're very much scheduled throughout the day, from one activity to the next, the next.
Well, I would imagine too, if maybe you're not working well with groups of people and things, there's probably lots of jobs you can do there at the camp. That's just the running of the like. There's maintenance involved. There's food and waste removal. There's things that have to be done for the health and welfare of the camp that maybe don't require necessarily interaction with the kids all the time, but is absolutely an invaluable service to making sure that camp runs.
Yes.
So if you want to, I'm not good with kids, but I can make sure your trash is not going to be piled up, or the food gets, all the unfun, sexy parts of camp that need to be done. All need those volunteers.
And they're all important.
They are. And I'll plant a seed because I think this is important. But we, when we have the activities at camp, yes, we have the fun things, the horseback riding, zip line, all of those things. But some other stations or areas that we like to have, for instance, one of them is a grandma and grandpa area.
Okay.
Another one is an aunt and an uncle, and they do some sort of fun activity. It's probably different every year. But one of the reasons why we do that is to show these kids kind of what it looks like in a family unit. What does an appropriate grandma and grandpa look like? And so they get to receive love from those people, our grandma and grandpa, or our aunt and uncle.
Sure.
And that is always, it's kind of interesting because, yes, they love the zip line, and yes, they love these fun things, but they really, really love to go visit aunt and uncle. Or, grandma and grandpa sitting on the porch that give out cookies.
Sure.
We get quilts donated to us. What's that group called so we could shout them out?
It's from the church. And if you hadn't asked me, I would have told you. It's the church on Main Street over there, that the ladies over there, they do quilts all years and give us, so the kids get quilts. It's over by Pioneer, like across the street. Oh my goodness.
Is it, I'm looking up, now I'm racking my brain thinking over there. Is it, the Lutheran church there?
Yes.
Okay. Emmanuel Lutheran, is that one?
No, not
it's not Emmanuel.
Nope.
It's the other one. Dang it, with the pumpkins.
Yes, that's always in the front. Yes. I can't, just totally, yes.
I think y'all's thing just was over to my
Someone write it on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yes, so they, and I'm glad that's one of the things, and I have a couple shout outs. So that is one of them. Like, so the kids get their own quilts, or one year some of them got animals.
Yeah.
And so they get that when they go see grandma and grandpa. And so with grandma and grandpa, like, that's the one thing we haven't had in a little while. We have the aunt and uncle, which they talk about family, and that is one of the things that we want to do at camp, so they can see what an appropriate. And appropriate. I don't want to say normal, because normal is very different, but an appropriate, so they can have that. And
what society looks at as what we say is a loving family.
Yes.
What we see, and this is what a lot of kids your age are experiencing. This is what it's like.
And those quilts, it's something they get to go home with, kind of like their photo books. It's a keepsake. They're going to remember it forever. They're always going to remember grandma and grandpa. And that's very special. So it's so much more than just a zip line or, these moments where they get to have fun and be kids.
Sure.
Yes, that is so important. But then there's these other aspects too that make this camp very unique.
Sure. Well, it's really teaching them who the mentors are in their life and things, because they've gone into a life where most
healthy.
Well, where in a healthy lifestyle you figured out who your mentors are, because they kind of come to the surface real quickly.
Yes.
In a abusive situation, that's not always true. So things that we take for granted, people that grew up in these loving, surrounded, nurturing, healthy relationships, it's sometimes hard for us to understand that if you never experience that, that's not common sense or commonplace.
Well, because some kids, maybe, for example, their grandpa's not a safe adult.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, a trigger for them or a bad memory. And so at camp, they get to relearn that there are safe, older adult men that can be in the role of grandpa that can love them and show them appropriate love and connection. And that's special.
And I think that's just good for generational, you look in the world we live in today, and it seems very divisive about everything, including generations. You got, millennials yelling at Gen Xers and Gen Xers yelling at baby boomers and vice versa and all that. Maybe some of this, kind of blurs those lines a little bit and understand that, the people that are older than you aren't all just talking down to you. And that's another, I think.
Yes.
So these same people probably look at grandmother, grandpa, and aunt and uncle and say, yeah, they're the ones who tell me I'm doing it wrong all the time. You know what I mean? And so you're showing, no. There's give and take on that. They show you the love and then try to steer you on the path. And when you come off, they try to nudge you back on it. That's all they're doing, And
so we need a grandma and grandpa now.
But I think if you love camping and love all this stuff, like when the counselor stuff, do y'all stay in cabins or tents?
They do. So our counselors and some of our support staff, the counselors are with the kids 24/7.
Okay.
And so they get a little break in the evening so they can go do their showers and check their phones, because that's one of the things that you don't have there.
Even no matter how much you want it.
Nope. They get put up.
There's no cell service.
No, it gets put up because we want your attention on those kids, not on anything else. And so they have all that, but they're with those kids so they can learn and be with those kids. And those kids start to feel like they really are here for me.
Sure.
And to be able to...
It's to make sure there's no blurred lines there. They understand that this person is your mentor, your leader for the next week here.
Yes.
If you have questions, concerns, desires, this is the person that's going to help you with it.
Yeah, and the kids see, we had a lawyer, he came to camp one year, and a kid had kind of asked him, aren't you busy? You're a lawyer, oh my goodness. And the counselor was able to say, hey, but this week is your week. So I'm putting I'm busy in my life aside because you're important enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's special too.
Sure.
To show these kids, I'm here for you this week. And you deserve it.
And I hope that's a lesson those kids take with them, because when they get older and their lives get crazy busy, they remember that moment. It's like, you know what? Life's never too busy to help others.
Yeah, it's planting that seed. And that's what we do. Kyla mentioned about the photo book.
Mm-hmm.
One of the kids that come early on, the first year, one of the other gentlemen on our leadership team had gone over because they had gotten adopted, and they came over, and that picture book from the first year, and this is almost 4 years later, was still by their bed.
Ah, cool.
And as a young man. And so it's one of those that they would remember. And so that's what we want for them to have those memories of doing. So we have a videographer and a photographer that's there the whole week that videos everything. And so each morning from the next day, the kids get to see themselves on the video.
They're the stars of the day
They're
before.
stars.
It is
Our
cool.
videographer's amazing. Her name's Juliana. I'm sure nobody knows who she is. But she gives the kids...
It's I know a Juliana.
Yeah,
Probably the same Juliana. Just
She gives the kids one of the little...
the GoPros?
The GoPros. And they get to
go down the
water slide, or they get to go
show
whatever.
Your adventure, what
and they're
you want to
doing
do
it from their perspective.
That's
and
cool.
so it's really neat. And so then the kids get super excited to get up there and see themselves in the morning when they're watching it on video. So there's so many roles and so many things that these kids get to do while we're there. And again, there's no charge to our families. But we want to make sure that while we're there, we're giving them. And there's so many people that donate their time. We're all volunteers. We all volunteer board. We all do that part of it. And so, but without our community stepping in and doing, because sometimes, you go to a potluck and some people say, let me just give you the money and you can make it, versus I'm not going to make it. It's the same thing with camp. If you can't go for a week, donate.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps. It's not a specific, because you mentioned earlier, if everybody gave $1 out of everybody in town, we would be good every year.
Absolutely. That's really all it takes. It's not. It's more hands make less work. And if you got $5, please donate it. if you want to volunteer, every little bit
Right.
helps make this camp happen.
And at Purple Day, we will do a toy drive. I'll let Tabitha talk about the details of that, but maybe people are asking, a toy drive, why do they need toys? And so at camp, one of the days we do a very special event, and we actually hold a birthday party for each one of these kids.
Cool.
A lot of times it's because maybe they've never had a birthday party before.
Sure.
They've never been celebrated.
They
They've
weren't
never
the center
been,
of attention for anything. Yeah.
And so there's a sweet lady, Tabitha can give her a shout out, but she'll make a cake with the kids' names on it, so they actually get their own individual. And it's not even a little cake; it's a pretty nice cake with their name on it.
Nice
they're
cake.
beautiful.
That's why they're going to be sick when they eat it all by themselves.
Yes. Well, most of them don't tend to eat it, Mike.
It's a
You'll
cake.
see
It's
face all
They
over
wear more
everywhere.
than they eat.
Oh, yes.
But we decorate. Then we have a fun event where maybe it's every year's a little bit different, but a carnival. I mean, we go huge.
Cool.
And so not only do they get gifts, but their counselors get to go and kind of pick out from the toys that are donated from the community. They get, as they're learning the kids throughout the week, maybe a kid's mentioned, oh my gosh, I love Barbies, or oh, I love, I've never had a football, but I wish I had one. Then the counselor at night will get to go and kind of pick in a room where we have all these toys set up, and then they wrap their gifts and we deliver it to them on their birthday at their party and celebrate them. And it is so awesome to see, because then the rest of the camp that evening is them playing with their toys. They have their cake. It's decorated for their party. There's
family
jumping
night in the
dollies.
den kind of thing.
It is a riot, and it is so fun. And just watching them, their smiles is like,
be kids.
And to be blessed with these gifts. And so, of course, we're always needing money as well. But if you have toys, please come on Purple Day. Our toy drive will be at McDonald's.
Okay. The down to the UFO one?
The UFO
Okay.
one, yes.
From
2 to 6.
Excellent. This is April 27th. That's Purple Day. We'd love to paint the town purple.
Yes.
Do you guys have signs and things
So
where
we
people
have
can
signs.
pick up?
So it's $500 if you want to do a sign.
Okay. And again, all that money goes
back to camp. Everything goes straight into camp. We also have some Purple Day shirts.
Okay.
So we'll be selling them for $20 for a donation.
You guys still have the website they can go to?
We still have the website. Yep.
Okay.
It's purpleday.squarespace.com.
Okay.
Or you can email rfk327@gmail.com. Or call me.
Or if you look Purple Day Roswell on Facebook,
yes, we
shoot
have
any questions
yes.
to the messenger there, and these ladies will get back to you.
Yes. Debbie Lucas is the one who does our cakes.
Okay.
And she's been doing them for many years. And it's neat because those cakes, they have the kids' names on them.
That's so personal.
So
That's
she
awesome.
really personalizes the cakes. So they're not small cakes. They're, but the kids have their names on it. So it's one of those neat things because the kids have never had birthdays.
Yeah.
And so they remember those type things.
Yeah.
So we do.
It's done just for them.
It is. And it's a whole day. And we usually will have Camille from Runyon Farms comes up and does the zoo. And like for all of us, I think we absolutely love that part. Mm-hmm. But there's so many different things for the kids.
Yeah.
But with Purple Day, with the toys and stuff, so they're unwrapped gifts, and we want them from like ages 6, 7 to 12.
Okay.
Typically, it's one year somebody got remote control cars. Oh my gosh, it's been the biggest hit ever since, even for the girls. Yeah. The girls,
everybody loves driving cars, and
most of the girls don't tend. It's really funny how you would think they would like the Barbies and the dolls, and typically they don't. Most of all the kids want like craft type stuff, like making jewelry or games or like sports, like footballs.
I know
and basketballs.
when I was a boy, Barbie had a Corvette and a cool house. And I was like, I don't really want the Barbie, but I want that Corvette.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yes. And they love the remote control car thing. So those type things. And if you're not sure you want to go buy, you can always just give us money when we're out there, and we'll go pick up stuff. Because we do try to learn something about the kids. So we kind of give something that's...
We want them to be so excited
to have it versus just giving them a random
it's
toy.
something for their very own, and they treat it as such.
And some of them have never had anything of their own, or they move from home to home and they don't get to take that stuff with them. So, and that's one of the things with the pictures and some of the other stuff we want them to have.
Absolutely
on there.
I just saw the time.
Yes. And
I tend to do that. But we want to get people involved. Please sign up. Please sign up to donate money or buy a sign or buy a T-shirt or donate a toy here.
So for Purple Day, I want to throw out before we get off is Domino's has been a great supporter for us, as has Kremlin Auto Group. But
awesome.
For Wednesday, for the 27th, if you order from Domino's, you need to tell them that you're ordering and that you are doing it for Royal Family Kids. Either of the locations. All day on Wednesday, let them know, and Domino's is going to give us a percentage of their sales that day.
Oh, nice. So maybe,
but it is important to make sure that you tell them it's for us.
So probably maybe put down your app that day and call direct or come in direct to either location.
Or go in and order and do that for either one of the locations.
Matter of fact, if you do the carry out right now, I think through Domino's, they give you $3 back too, and you can donate that back to the family kids. So go pick it up yourself. They give you $3 and you can donate it to the family kids.
Great idea.
So that'll be on Wednesday, the 27th.
On the 27th. And if anybody wants to buy a shirt, we have shirts, our Purple Day shirts. Get the signs up. You can do that as well.
Let's
throw out one quick thing for our office. So we have an office challenge. So if your business donates $500 from the office itself, and then you fundraise within your office $500 from your employees, a couple days before Purple Day, once you've got that to us beforehand, we'll come bring you some shirts.
Nice.
We'll do that so that you some swag so you can purple. You want to paint the town purple on Wednesday.
And Facebook.
We want to see a sea of purple here on April 27th in Roswell. It's all for Royal Family Kids. Please go to the website. Again, give out the web address.
So the web address is purpleday.squarespace.com. You can email, which is rfk327@gmail.com, or you can call me, Tabitha, at 919-255-0136, and we will
get you
all set up. Or check out Facebook.
And then, like I said, or the Royal. If you do Royal Family Kids Roswell, I believe is what you type in. If you do any kind of Royal Family Kids Roswell, any combo of that, you're going to see it pretty easily.
Absolutely.
And then you can learn more about exactly what we were just talking about here. Learn obviously more about Purple Day, the camp, but even just seeing some of the stories, some of the cool stuff that comes out of Royal Family. Some of those success stories, you can read about those too.
Yes, and our team will be out there, of course, at McDonald's on that day for Purple Day. So if people have questions, they can come there. We'll be there. And then, of course, online is our application to apply to be a volunteer. So please come to camp, volunteer, and fill out that application.
When you come to McDonald's that day, dress up in your favorite Grimace shirt, because he was purple, and get a chocolate shake. That was kind of McDonald's with purple Grimace.
I forgot about Grimace.
And he was the shake guy.
A long time ago.
Get a chocolate shake at McDonald's.
There you go.
In your favorite Grimace shirt for Purple Day.
There you go.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
Okay?
Bye.
Thank you.
According to RPD spokesperson Todd Wildermuth said investigators determined the teen victim and Silvis had been in an argument over a threat that Silvis allegedly made against a woman Tuesday night. State environmental regulators are reviewing plans submitted by Mosaic Potash to investigate and define the extent of groundwater contamination from discharges associated with potash mining along the Pecos River. The State Environment Department announcing earlier this month that contamination had been detected in nearby groundwater monitoring wells and that the company was required to submit a plan for monitoring and dealing with the pollution. Potash mining is a main economic driver in Eddy County. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. American Express first quarter profits fell roughly 6% from a year earlier, but the company saw a 30% jump in spending on its namesake cards in the quarter as its card members returned to their habits of shopping, traveling, and dining. The New York-based company posted a profit of $2.1 billion, down from $2.24 billion a year earlier. Taking aim at hate speech, disinformation, and other harmful content online, the European Union is nearing agreement on a sweeping law that would force big tech companies to police themselves harder, make it easier for users to flag problems, and empower regulators to punish non-compliance with billions in fines. EU officials were negotiating late Friday night over the final details of the Digital Services Act, which would overhaul the digital rulebook and cement its position as the global leader in reining in power of social media companies. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
Move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. The Cow is utterly stocked full up with spring and floral fabrics. Plus, glow-in-the-dark and alien fabrics are in stock. The Cow is now making custom shirts and scrubs too. Design your very own one-of-a-kind unique shirt or nursing scrubs made from any of the Calico Cow's fabrics. Plus, unique gifts too. Move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 311 North Main in Roswell. Want to know how? Come spring into the Cow.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Stay tuned next hour. Elliot Rodriguez with Lone Depot will join us about 9:15 or so. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Russia unleashing a string of attacks targeting crucial infrastructure across Ukraine.
Whilst the heaviest fighting in recent days has concentrated around Ukraine's eastern front, the attacks struck far behind the front line of that offensive. Ukrainian railway authorities said 5 railway facilities in central and western Ukraine were hit, including a missile attack near the western city of Lviv. Russia's defense ministry confirmed that the Russian military also destroyed an oil refinery in Kremenchuk in central Ukraine, along with fuel depots there. The ministry also confirmed that a total of 56 Ukrainian targets were destroyed overnight. I'm Karen Chamas.
And Secretary of State Blinken, Defense Secretary Austin have met with Ukraine's president in Kiev. Austin stressing that the U.S. does stand with Ukraine.
They need long-range fires. You've heard them express a need for tanks. And we are doing everything that we can to get them the types of support, the types of artillery and munitions that will be effective in this stage of the fight.
The U.S. approving $165 million worth of ammo sales to Ukraine, along with more than $300 million in foreign military financing. The place, Paris. The cheers for French President Emmanuel Macron. He has won a second 5-year term, defeating challenger Marine Le Pen in the weekend runoff. One of the wildfires burning across more than a dozen Nebraska counties has proven deadly. A 66-year-old man, he was a retired fire chief, has been killed. More than a dozen firefighters injured. New Mexico also dealing with multiple wildfires. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 418 points. The NASDAQ is off 37. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps, or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your legacy box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Legacy Box is offering a 60% discount. Order yours today and take advantage of our best Mother's Day sale ever. Visit legacybox.com/LBox and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/LBox for 60% off. legacybox.com/LBox.
China's capital, Beijing, has begun mass testing, shutting down residential and business districts amid a new outbreak of COVID. Less than 50 cases have been found so far. The city of more than 21 million. Residents stocking up on food in case they're confined to their homes, as has happened in other cities, including Shanghai.
People in Beijing have seen this lockdown in Shanghai and the lack of food and medicine and what have you. Now, who knows if Beijing will actually also have to go into a similar lockdown, but people aren't taking any chances. You know, you've got sort of state media reporters on social media here even declaring they're doing the same thing. So it sort of hasn't been a lot of effort to try and calm people's nerves. In fact, I think many would see it as quite understandable given the experience of what's happened in Shanghai.
The BBC's Stephen McDonnell in Beijing. China's borders remain largely closed. News and analysis at townhall.com. Another unfortunate manifestation of the Biden open border policy. It's upending life in the Southwest, including Texas.
15 migrants and another individual injured when their truck rolled over following a high-speed chase with Medina County deputies. An officer had pulled over the truck when one person fled the vehicle before it sped off. The chase continued into nearby Bexar County, where the driver lost control. The vehicle rolled several times. The migrants and the driver have been taken to various hospitals. Jason Walker reporting.
According to media reports, Twitter's board has been negotiating with Tesla CEO Elon Musk over his bid to buy the social media platform, and word that a deal could be announced as early as today. Once again on Wall Street this hour, the Dow is down. It's off 390 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Get on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Buenos Monday. Hope it's a good one for you.
Yeah, buddy.
Not a lot of time to turn around.
Yeah, there is.
It's only 9:06 in the a.m.
The inverse is also true. There's a lot of time to tank it.
This is true. For the glass half empty folks.
That's right.
I got a new Winning Time waiting for me on my HBO Max. I'm pretty good about that. I love that. I'm kind of digging that show. I know there's a lot of people salty that they don't portray Jerry West right and all that, but I don't care. I'm entertained by it.
Right. Well, it's an artist's interpretation.
Yeah.
It's based on true events. Not all the events are going to be true.
And then again, a lot of people say stuff like that. I'm like, were you there? You know? You don't know. You're just reading someone else's opinion of it and saying that's the right one.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. So, but anyway, I like it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a big basketball fan. I'm not a basketball fan, to be honest, but I enjoy that show. I think I love history. That's what it is.
It's probably a big part of it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure.
It's right there, 70s, 80s history, and then I look back and I'm like, oh, what was I doing when I was that age? And see life and things like that. It's kind of neat. So, it was for me. But anyway, it's worth a check out. If you're a Lakers fan, especially, I can't imagine why you wouldn't check it out if you're not a Lakers fan.
Right.
That'd be kind of weird. I know if any, not that any company's out there making dramas about the Washington football team or Commanders, or we'll call them now. But
well, not yet.
If they did, I would watch it.
Now there's a whole new chapter to write or to tell. So
I'm waiting for the Netflix documentary to show up. Like, because that if you've got a conspiracy in the world today, Netflix will make a documentary.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm waiting for the Washington Commanders cover-up conspiracy, Dan Snyder, the whole John DeLorean-esque documentary on him.
The whole breakdown.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to show up someday. It will. Maybe he has to no longer be around for it to happen.
The Snyder story.
Yeah.
The Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Release the Snyder cut.
Not the Chips either.
No.
Of Hanover. I don't think they're the same Snyders.
Admittedly, I never watched either one, the Snyder cut or the original cut of it wasn't Batman v Robin, Superman, it was the other one, Justice League.
Oh yeah.
I never watched either one of those.
Well, they released the Snyder cut on HBO Max, didn't they? It's a lot longer, isn't it?
It's like an hour and some change longer, I think.
I've seen the Justice League like 4 times. I don't need to see another hour. I don't know. I guess if it was on TV and I was flipping channels, I'd stop and watch it. But to stop and seek out my day to go watch a movie I've seen 10 times just to see another.
Have you seen Justice League that many times though?
When it was on HBO and there's nothing on TV and I'm surfing, I'm like, oh, so I'd pick it up in the middle. So I'd say total, like just turning it on when it's on, probably a total of 4 times. I've maybe there's times where I've seen an hour of it here, an hour of it there, or something like that. But a total times. I saw it in theaters one way through, and I think I saw it when it came out on HBO or whatever one way through. And then after that, it's just kind of, oh, it's nothing on. I guess I'll watch Justice League.
I'm kind of like that with the movie Civil War, with the Avengers movie.
Oh, okay.
Because this is not a popular take. I've never seen the movie all the way through. But for some reason, every time I've ever entered a room when that movie is on, it's always right in the middle of the fight scene, like right in the middle of the epic fight sequence.
Towards the end there, yeah. And I don't know. I hear a lot of the uber fans of the Marvel Universe and all that. Like, they go to Civil War as the best movie of the bunch.
Right, which is why I'm kind of, I said it's not a popular take that I haven't seen it.
I don't know if I agree or disagree or one way or the other. I don't have an opinion. I like them, and I've seen a good hunk of those 1,000 times. But I see them all in the theater.
Right.
And then I'll, flip in channels. Oh, there's Civil War. So I pick it up, and it's at the part where they're here, and they do that. So I've seen all those Marvel movies, and a lot of those that same way. With the exception would maybe be like Captain Marvel. I think I've seen it once or twice all the way through, and that's it. The second Avengers Endgame, the last one, I've seen that like maybe twice.
On pretty much all the MCU, I've actually heard this opinion from a couple people. I've given up on trying to catch up.
Yeah.
There's just no way it's going to happen. I've seen enough of the MCU to kind of know what's going on.
Yeah. I watched The Eternals. I saw that movie. It was meh for me.
I like The Eternals.
It was all right. It wasn't great.
A lot of it didn't. It didn't make sense to me from the perspective of like the canon of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever. But it also sort of opened up a whole new realm of like, there's the supers, and then there's these other beings that are even more powerful than even the supers, than anything alive.
And that's the problem with those universes. There's always another. Like whenever because
it's a gobstopper.
Well, yeah, because everything they have is catastrophic galaxy world changing every. It's like, okay, you have a giant worm come through space to detect New York City,
right?
And how you gonna outdo that one? And now we got to go way out there. You know what I mean? And that's so it's. No matter how great you make your superhero, you got to make a bad guy equally great, or the superhero's boring to watch. You know what I mean? It's like Superman can just about destroy anything, Well, you got to have bad guys are equally bad, or you know what I mean? It's like
you have to have the weakness. You have to have that one thing.
And then that's always been my biggest problem with the Marvel movies, because they'll be like, you'll watch I don't know, Daredevil. And you're like, okay, that's all dealing with guys. Like Thor comes in and this episode is over in 13 seconds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, why do we have to? It's like, oh, problem's getting bad. Everyone's going to die. Call Thor.
They've actually made that joke before I can't remember if it was an Ant-Man or what.
Yeah. Where's Captain
but
at?
Basically, they get through the entirety of like this big battle.
Yeah.
And then at the end, who was? Oh no, I think this was you pointed this out in at the end of Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Where have y'all been this whole time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Right.
All of this stuff. It's like, this is world. Where's the big guns?
Yeah. Where's Batman and Superman been when I'm dealing with
exactly.
this?
They got
nonsense?
literally a guy that they deem as a clown solving catastrophic and like your big guns, Wonder Woman, Superman. Where are they at? What are they doing?
The same thing. It's almost like the developmental versus like the main leagues.
Yeah.
It's like if you look at, for example, Daredevil, or that whole like Daredevil, Luke Cage, the what do they call them? Hell's Kid, like the Hell's Kitchen Avengers or whatever.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where even one of the Avengers could come along, snap his fingers, and the whole thing would be fixed. But it's like, then you don't have a story.
I know.
So you need the story.
And I get that, but if you want me to accept the story, you've got to explain that to me. Why isn't the big guns here fixing this? What appears to be a pretty big, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're off, dealing with world-ending things. The end of the Eternals, by the way, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, it sort of puts things into perspective that at the grand scale of like the Eternals or whatever.
Yeah.
Our day-to-day lives, our existence,
doesn't
mean nothing to them.
Yeah.
That's why they're okay with just breaking buildings and destroying stuff. It's not trying to, bring the good back. They're literally just trying to like maintain order in the universe.
Well, have you watched Loki on the
Loki? No, I have not.
That's actually pretty. I finally watched that TV series on Disney Plus, and that will go in another direction, because that little series says there's basically a group of these elders that control the timelines, and they control it. And basically, there's like a government bureaucracy that runs the day-to-day of the timelines, and they have guys that look like, Secret Service or FBI agents that go like Men in Black.
Right.
And they go and
These time fixers.
When there's anomalies in the time, they go and fix it. And that's kind of the whole Loki premise of the Loki series. That first, so that adds another little like, okay, you got Eternals, but then who are these people that are actually? So that's where I'm getting like, all right, you're getting so muddy on me. I can't keep track.
They've also installed little trapdoors essentially, so if they ever write themselves into a corner, they could just trapdoor their way out.
Right. It's just like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like when they rebooted the Star Trek movies here, they basically paralleled the universe. So the Star Trek you watched with the old TV series, that's a different parallel than these movies you're watching now.
Okay.
Hence the reason they could get Leonard Nimoy in, was it the Khan one before he passed? And he's Spock. He's not somebody else, but obviously we already got a Spock. How are we going to Spock a Spock and Spock? And so they parallel universed us here and did all that, which it's kind of a lazy cop-out.
It is.
But at least gives me an explanation.
It's essentially the time turner in the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
Or in the book 3 of the Harry Potter books where, Hermione was able to just turn time back and solve like the big plot hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy write out, but also you had to establish that first, early in the story as that was going to be the thing. So it takes a modicum of artistic ability in and of itself to write in your own trapdoor.
Sure. Of course, and I think it's really the same like dozen people in all of Hollywood doing all these franchises. You know what I mean? It's like the guys work in DC, also work Marvel. Marvel guys work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you got Favreau, who's pretty much got his hand on Marvel, Star Wars, and everything Disney. It's just kind of, so you really kind of have the same people.
Well, and they sort of have that over at DC with, is it Kevin Feige? Is that his name?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He's kind of their overlord of all the, all the
but they're playing catch up.
Offshoot stuff. Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, they're trying and the Bat. They're trying to make it just like Marvel, but I'm like, your story's not the same as Marvel.
No,
Like, your superheroes
there's a darker
are different.
story.
Yeah, it's a different. We'll play that. Play your wheelhouse, man. Don't try to play Marvel. You're going to sell just as many toys. Trust me. You know what I mean? Keep making 27 different Batmobiles, and they'll keep buying them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know the people that are fans of all this stuff, and they are the same ones. That's why. Why do you think George Lucas is a gazillionaire after what really amounts to about 8 to 10, 15 movies? The Star Wars movies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, they've rebooted those movies so many times.
Oh, yeah.
In so many different ways that George Lucas has got you buying them every single time in a different, they've added, the Jabba the Hutt now moves like on his own in this one. And there's 6 more seconds of Jabba in it. Oh, give me that version of the thing. I'll pay another $40 for it. Sure. They've been doing that to us since these movies have been out.
In this version, we've retconned all the stuff that we've changed in subsequent movies to make it make sense in the first movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Futurama, how if you go back and watch the first episode of Futurama, and this is really obscure, but you don't see the shadow of Nibbler, the thing that the creature actually ended up pushing Fry in. But over time, as they've gone back and flashed back the scene, you start seeing more hints of, he was there. But if you go back and watch the original episode, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
You wrote that in later.
But they got us trained.
That's true.
They got us trained, and they know. So DC just needs to do that. Okay, we're going to reboot Superman here again. We'll reboot, and what'll happen is this will have its run, and then about 10 years, your kids will want it, and they'll do a new version.
Yeah. And they'll cart out all the old versions of that character so that so parents and grandparents feel good and get the nostalgic feels.
Just need to get people to create new versions of these heroes and things to get new stories.
Just think about it like this: 20 years from now, 25 years from now, they're going to be sitting around saying, "We should bring back Robert Pattinson Batman." It'll really get the older folks in the feels. They'll remember this is the Batman that was our Batman.
And then we're going to have
because they're bringing Michael Keaton back for a couple things as Batman now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's going to be in the new, I think, Batgirl series.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he just ran out of money and needed a paycheck.
Yeah, probably.
He hadn't worked in a while. He's like, I was going to retire, and then I realized my Mr. Mom money and Batman money is done, so I got to get back to work here. That's my guess. Elliot Rodriguez with Loan Depot. He's going to join us here in just a few and talk to us about getting loans, mortgages, and he loves helping first-time buyers, so we'll chit-chat with him. Oh, there's something else about the movie thing I was going to say, and it just slipped my mind. Oh, well. I had a point. Now I lost my point.
That happens. It's morning radio for you, folks.
It happens. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice over the next couple of days, and our temperatures will stay comfortable today and tomorrow before we start heating up a little bit on Wednesday. We're expecting low 70s and sunshine through the day. Overnight will be clear, down to about 45. We'll move into the mid 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday. Lots of sunshine and a little bit breezy. Mid 80s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 59 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 31%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 13 miles per hour. Sunny and 72 today. Winds will be out of the east, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So these clouds will burn off at some point, according to the National Weather Service here. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 43. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Free Tuesday, sunny, 76 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 early, picking up 15 to 20, so a little breezy for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 51 degrees. Winds out of the south, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, this is, I guess there's a chance. They're not even saying like rain. They're just saying a chance of sprinkles for Wednesday afternoon. Mostly sunny, high of 86. Will be mid-80s on Wednesday. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday will be back into the 90s, sunny and 93. Friday, sunny and breezy, highs right around 90. And then looking at your weekend, sunny with a high of 87 for Saturday. Sunday, sunny skies and a high of 92. So cooler to start the week and then warming up as the week progresses here. So truth be told, it looks like a pretty nice week weather-wise. Hopefully we get a little bit more moisture than some sprinkles on Wednesday, but we'll take what we can get, I guess. All right, it is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break. Like I said, Elliot Rodriguez with Loan Depot going to join us in just a little bit. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Wilbanks Trucking Services in Artesia is seeking dedicated and motivated individuals to join their team. Immediate openings include CDL drivers with pay starting at $25 to $33 per hour depending on experience. Riggers with pay starting at $20 per hour and open positions for lease operators. Wilbanks Trucking Services offers full benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and housing for out-of-town employees. For more information on career opportunities, please call 575-746-6318 or online at wilbanks.us. Wilbanks Trucking Services is an equal opportunity employer.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Energy consumers everywhere are getting calls from scammers. These callers threaten to shut off power if payment is not made immediately. Don't fall for it. Never give out financial or personal information to someone who calls claiming to be from Central Valley Electric Cooperative. CVE does not take payments over the phone. If you receive such a call or have questions about your bill, call CVE 575-746-3571 and get the facts.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Hear the call of the wild this summer with summer camp at the Spring River Zoo with camps for kids age 4 through 17 and 7 weekly camps offered in June and July. Camp topics include predators and prey, camouflage, zookeeper roles, and zoo research. Lunch and snacks are provided daily and all kids get a camp t-shirt. Space is limited. Sign-ups are on now. Find more details on each camp at springriverzoo.com and register your kid's spot now through roswellconnect.com. Go wild this summer with summer camps at the Spring River Zoo, 1306 East College.
When it comes to the security of your home or business, you want a local company, one that has a personal investment right here in Southeast New Mexico. Zenith Security Services is your local Honeywell dealer. Zenith can handle all of your business and residential alarms, cameras, and IT services, as well as home theater installations, all from a local company. The Spring Starter Package is now available at Zenith Security Services for your home or business. Call the real Zenith Security Services today, 575-626-3521. Zenith Security Services, protection with a local touch.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. It's considered good luck in Japan when a sumo wrestler makes your baby cry. But who gets the good luck? The sumo wrestler or the baby? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 27 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from Lone Depot, we have Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Roswell.
How are you doing today?
We're doing good.
Good.
Fighting some allergies, but we're doing good.
Good. Well, 'tis the season.
I know.
It's
doesn't want to go away.
All weekend I've been hearing people, these allergies. Yeah.
Dude, I had a heart attack. What am I saying? I had a attack. Allergic attack.
Oh, really?
And I thought I was going to end up at the hospital for a second.
Oh, wow.
That's how bad it was.
Was it like sneezing stuff or
like coughing, sneezing? Is
wow.
Like totally, completely out of control. It's like, holy crap, what's happening here?
Wow.
I went to see a house that I was interested in myself.
Sure.
and got one of those mulberries trees.
And they got you.
And the stuff is all over the place. It's like, it didn't, I thought I was fine.
Yeah.
Because I just took a shot the other day. But it just, after like being there for like 5 minutes or whatever, got in the car on the way out, it just came in. It's like, holy cow. I mean, that stuff is serious, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, it can be bad.
And our bodies change too. So like when you maybe when you were younger, you weren't allergic, but now you can be as you get older.
I know.
Just things like that happen. So
well, for a while I was like, oh, it's awesome. You know, it's April. I haven't had to take a shot. You know, I was doing good. And then lately, you know, I was outside cutting the grass and everything. Didn't wear no mask or nothing. It's like, okay, I need to take a shot. And then the other day, yesterday was just horrible. I never been that way. It's like, wow, what's happening?
Well, hopefully it gets to ease up a little bit here for you.
Hopefully, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Summer's kicking in. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, the wind doesn't help, I'm sure. It blows it all over the place. But, of course, Elliot has been with Lone Depot here now since about the start of the year here.
That's correct.
So, and of course, been here with his new company, and since you've been there, you've been really growing and just getting more folks and helping more people get their homes and sell and find their homes and afford their homes. Basically,
it's been awesome. I cannot say anything but greatness things so far for what I'm seeing and everything that I've done. So, which is what I was looking for.
Good deal.
You know, so I'll be able to help a lot more people in town. You know, the way I wanted to.
Sure.
You know, so it's awesome. I'm very excited on everything that I've done so far and what I'm going to be able to do for everybody later in the future.
So as far as like, I know right now, like if you're selling a home, they're not staying on the market very long. And
dude.
Even with the prices that we're talking there, because let's face it, real estate's rising. A house 2 years ago was worth a lot more than it was right now. Almost every single piece of property out there.
I believe we're going to see more homes coming out because the reason being, like you said, the market has gone up, and you know demand, you know, and what is available is kind of tough for the people that are looking for homes.
Sure.
But like the house I went to see yesterday, the night before, I mean, literally 12 hours, you know, into in the market, it was already 2 offers on it.
Wow.
Okay, so it's pretty crazy.
Good deal.
You know, and you would think, you know, that they'll give you more time. So if you're in the market to buy a house, I say get approved.
Sure.
Get ready. You got no time to
The
play.
more prep work you do now, the better you're going to be set up for when you find that home to make your play and pull your trigger and get in there quick.
And the agent's going to tell you, please get pre-approved, get pre-approved. There's a reason for it, guys. We had talked about this from before. Now it's even more of of a fact because when you're going to go and see a house you want to buy, there may be 2 or 3 or 4 people already looking at it.
Sure.
You know? And if they make an offer, and the thing is this, you never know what they're offering.
Yeah.
So that's the part of the game right there. So you have to be more aggressive, and you have to be more sure of what you're really going to do. Because if you're not sure, that house is going to be gone just like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have a customer right now that, you know, I felt bad for them for a second, but at the same time, we warned them. You know, like they put a house in the market. It happens to be outside town, so they want to buy in town.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's taking a little longer. You know, and you have to allow the agents to show your houses.
Sure.
Okay? If you don't allow your agent to show your house, you can't sell it.
Exactly.
Okay?
People are going to buy it sight unseen.
Exactly. So you need to put the exposure out there a lot more. Second, when you make those offers, you have to be sure if this is the house you want. If you don't want the house,
sure.
Let's be realistic, guys. When you guys are shopping out there, it's just like when you go to the car dealership. You know if that's the car you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you inside is telling you, no, this is not the house for me.
Right.
Okay, move on to the next house.
Well, I would even say when it comes to the house buying and the offering, the tactics are a little different right now.
Exactly.
And that's like, whereas maybe last time you bought the house, you're like, all right, I could play hardball a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You do not have that
time.
luxury now. The hardball is all in the seller's court.
I know.
That's what we're talking about here because and this is not just unique to Roswell, New Mexico. This is going
across the whole United States.
My brother, matter of fact, a family thing to it. They end up having to sell a condo out there, and this is back in Virginia.
Gotcha.
And just these aren't exact numbers, but just ballpark. So say they bought the place for $300,000.
Gotcha.
Okay. It's actually more than that. It's DC area. I'm just trying to get a number that people.
It's a different area.
Yeah. So they paid $300,000 for it. When my brother went to sell it a year later, he was thinking, okay, I'm gonna make my money back and make. They actually got about $50,000 over their asking price.
Gotcha.
Because of because there was bidders.
Of the market.
There was bidders, and it went back and forth. So he was thinking before it started, if I get this amount, I think it was $400 or whatever.
Correct.
And he was like, okay, that's great. He ended up getting like $500 for when he was expecting $400 over top of what just inflation. So he made a killing on this thing.
Oh no, I mean the market is so it's a little unpredictable.
Yeah.
Okay. It keeps going up and down, but it's going up more than it's going down.
Sure.
So that's the part that's a little difficult for the consumer right now. But at the same time, guys, Mike and I talked about this. I mean, over a decade ago. All right. I mean, I had a 9.5 interest rate, so don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about 3.5 to 5% or 5.5 or something, or even 6%. Depending on your loan, the payments monthly in the long run is the part that matters the most, that is going to make more of an impact to you. But in general, monthly, it's not much of a crazy difference, okay? Of course, it's a little higher than what you would like.
Right.
Because we've been a little spoiled lately, But at the same time, it's not really a crazy place because if everybody goes and do their research, if you go back just 5 years ago plus, we were at 4.5. Okay, and 4.5, everybody was still happy.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying. So, not because we are 5.5 or either 6, depending on the person's situation.
Sure.
Okay, means that we're in a really bad place yet.
Sure.
So the difference is there's not enough homes, so you have to truly be ready.
Sure.
So if you're thinking about doing an application with me or whoever you may end up working, I'm hoping you come and call me instead.
Absolutely.
Okay? But the fact still that we need to get done is to get you truly approved. Get you pre-approved and ready. Because if you're going to go and play ball, if you're not ready, you're not going to win.
Sure.
And it's almost like Game of Thrones. If you're going to come play, you need to play or you die.
I'm kind of curious from the perspective, when looking, because, when we think about buying a home or buying a piece of real estate, we always look at it from an investment standpoint, even when we don't look at it necessarily as an investment.
Exactly.
We're thinking, no, that's my house. I'm not, I've got to have this anyway.
Yeah, it's an investment no matter what.
I want to make money on it.
Correct.
But what I mean is, because of offers and things being higher now, is there a greater risk of overpaying for a house right now where you might actually pay so much over that you're not going to get that value back in that house? Is that a risk right now?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The reason why I say yes, be careful what you do. You're not gonna go buy a $230,000 home and then you go on a bidding war for $250,000. It's not gonna. The reason I say no is because it's not truly gonna happen. Yeah, we're not there yet.
Gotcha.
Okay. Are we in a situation, especially in Albuquerque? Okay. A lot of people over there. Let's be realistic. People that are coming from California sold a home that they maybe had for 3 or 5, 10 years.
They don't understand the value of the market quite yet.
Here,
they're paying California prices in Albuquerque.
Exactly, and they're okay with it. and they're killing some of the borrowers because the borrowers are not ready to negotiate better.
Right.
Okay? So that's difficult over there, and it's still happening here and there, but not as much here yet. But the thing is this, though. What happens is they come to the situation, and I deal with the situations before. I had a deal that the appraisal came a little lower than the sub price at the
Gotcha.
time. Now, that's probably not going to happen now, okay? But it still could.
Okay.
But what they did is a lot of times they negotiate back and forth, and they go half the
Sure.
way. So, like, if they're $10,000 off, the buyer may end up saying, okay, if they truly want this house badly, they'll put an extra $5,000 for the difference.
Gotcha.
So they meet halfway or whatever the difference is.
Okay.
I've seen that happen before, I always say for, $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, you should never let go a home that you really want.
Gotcha.
Now, if we're talking about
You're going to get that money at some point, no
eventually,
problem. Yeah.
So now, if we're talking 10,000, 15,000, and it start going crazy higher, okay, maybe
Then you're gambling a
Maybe
little
you
bit.
need to rethink about, okay,
Sure.
maybe I need to go to another house.
Sure.
But at the same time, I would say nobody to give up on the house they truly want.
Sure.
Because
Will the lender, will Loan Depot come back to you at some point and say, look, I know we've approved this client for, say, $200,000, and they're in a bidding war where technically they're at 180, but they're bidding on a house that's only really worth 60. I mean, at some point, is Loan Depot going to say, no, we're not going to finance
the thing is
$200,000 for a house that's only worth $60,000?
Well, the thing is this: no lender.
Yeah.
No lender. Not just Loan Depot.
Yeah.
No lender is going to give you more,
than the value of what that is.
Because
in case you default, they got to turn around and salvage that loan, and that's what they're going to do.
And unfortunately, that's a bad place to be if that ever happens to anybody.
I'm just wondering if we're opening yourself up to being in those scenarios right now.
But I've been there.
Yeah.
Even before the market was, like the house that I sold before, I was selling it for $250,000.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling it for $237,500. So I lost $12,500.
Sure.
So the reality is you didn't lose anything because you really didn't have it.
Gotcha.
Because if the value is not there, it's not there.
It's not real.
So it doesn't matter. The problem is, sellers in general. Okay, we always think our homes, are value as much as
it's more valuable to us than it is to somebody else.
It's the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
So we want to sell it as much as we want to, for more.
It's no different than collectibles,
And I know some people are like, oh, the lender this, the lender that. The lender has nothing to do with the value of a home when the appraisers, appraise the house.
Sure.
And I know some, sellers feel that way sometimes. The fact still is that we do not.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then I'd be rich because then I control the situation.
But the way it's presented to the buyer is, well, our next hurdle is to make sure that the appraisal is what the value, you know what I'm saying? Because so when it's presented to the buyer, they look at it, oh, that means the bank is my linchpin on what the value of this house is, whether they're going to pay for that or not.
Exactly. So in the end of the day, if the appraisal says so, it is what it is.
Sure.
We can't control that.
But to be fair, in essence, that's protecting you, the buyer, a little bit because, in essence, if they're not willing to do that, they're probably saving you a financial headache because guess what? If they approved it, and what I'm telling you is that you might get upside down on this house, and they might be saving you from getting into that scenario to begin with.
And that's true.
So sometimes you got to look as like, well, maybe there's a reason why they're not doing this, and I should probably listen to their advice here and look for another house.
Well, another part is I believe, buyers, because the market is so crazy all over the place.
Yeah.
They need to think real hard. If you are approved to 225, don't push it to higher. Even if we can push it a little more.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a lot of room, to play with. And if the market gets worse and worse,
well,
before you know it, you're not going to be in a place that you can even get that.
I know, and this is probably something you talk with your clients with all the time. Just because you're approved for an X amount doesn't mean that works in your budget. Exactly. And what I mean by that is they're taking variables. They're taking your assets, they're taking your debt, they're doing an equation, and they're saying, okay, based on their income, based on this, they can ideally afford $200,000 house here. But if you're looking at your thing and saying, well, great, yeah, I can, but now I'm going to pay, my mortgage is going to be this, we'll say $1,000 a month.
Well, yeah.
And I can pay that $1,000, but if I also bought a car, I also bought $50,000 worth of furniture, and I'm paying on that. Next thing you know, yeah, you can afford it, but the bank isn't the one managing your finances. So looking at the numbers, but if you're not budgeting right and you're not spending right, you can still run yourself, and at the end of the day, that's where, and I know you, and this is how you're getting first-time homeowners approved and stuff, because you literally have to go through that lesson with them. It's like, yeah,
I know, but
you're making enough money to buy a house. You're spending more than you're making, and that's our problem.
But let me tell you something. The market is so volatile right now that it's so crazy all over the place.
Yeah.
The problem that we're having with that is that the borrowers seems to be not finding the homes they want to, so they have to step it up to the next level.
Sure.
And that makes it difficult
forcing
for them
to get out of their comfort zone a little bit on what they think.
I always advise my borrowers that, if you approve to this level, you don't look anything higher.
Absolutely.
Stop even going there.
Matter of fact, I would look lower.
Exactly. That's what
to
I'm
give you wiggle room.
Yeah, because you need some room. And remember, in the end of the day, it's what you're comfortable with as well. Because I can probably get somebody approved for $300,000, but they may be only comfortable to $250,000 or even $200,000.
Absolutely.
And that's a fact.
Exactly. My wife, we did the same thing. My wife and we bought the house. We got approved for more than what we paid for that house. And I was like, just because we're approved for this doesn't mean I got to go find a house for that. That's that. Now, if my demands needed that, or I'm like, oh, I got kids, I need the extra bedrooms, I'm going to have to go to that limit. But we're not in that scenario. But what I'm trying to say is, just because they tell you a number doesn't mean that has to be your number. You can find a home less, and in this day and age, and the way things are right now, you're probably the wise person to be the one looking for something way under what you're approved for. And therefore, if you're going to get into a bidding war, you're going to get into a scenario where
you need the room.
Then you've got it, and it's not busting your budget. So, yay, we got the house. Great. We're eating ramen for the next 5 years and sitting on lawn chairs at the grocery store.
I know. I only tell people to eat ramen for 30 to 45 days only, not for the rest of your life.
If you're shopping at Albertson for your furniture, then then that's not good, man.
No, you know what? The market it's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, because we were talking about this before COVID, and we were in a totally different place. We were busy. The market was like all over the place.
Yeah.
Houses were coming and going. And you're gonna start seeing more houses coming up because people pay attention. Or like, I bought this house for $200,000. I can sell it for $300,000.
Yeah, see now
they're gonna start thinking it's like, okay.
Like for people downsizing and stuff, this is the golden age.
Oh yeah, this is perfect.
If you're like maybe the kids have all moved out, and you want to go from the 4-bedroom down to a 2-bedroom or to a condo or something. Oh, you're gonna. Because your house is going to be so much, you're going to get all kinds of equity.
Yep.
You're if you play your cards right, you could set yourself up for a nice little chunk towards that retirement there doing that. So,
but I can emphasize enough. Get pre-approved. Get ready before you start looking at houses.
Absolutely.
Because the worst case scenario is that you want to put an offer on a place, or even you put an offer on a place and you don't even qualify for that. Okay,
you're going to do irrational things to get that house, and at the end of the day, you're like, is that? And at the time, you think it might be worth it, but once the rubber hits the road, you're going to be like, man, we have a beautiful house, but we have no freedoms now. We have no ability to do anything else because we put all of our eggs in this house, and now we're going to be sitting here barren till we play catch up here and can actually get back on track and buy some furniture
and get your agent to negotiate for you.
Absolutely.
Go out there. Now, the agents know what's happening. Listen to your agent. I'm not telling, the agent's not going to tell you what to offer, but they'll give you some pointers.
Sure.
Okay. I mean,
they definitely know what's going and where's the market.
They know what's happening.
They'll know what's legit, realistic bids and what's pipe dreams or what's.
If you're not listening to your agent, and you're not even listening to your lender, you're not ready to buy a house.
No.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Because these are the two individuals that are going to help you make that happen.
Well, and this is, I've always said this, and I've learned it enough, when they talk about real estate agents and their commissions, it's worth it. Because an agent that's doing their job right is earning that money, and they're going the extra steps to make sure and knowing what you're looking for and trying to work it in your money, and that's what they do. Elliot's the guy that sits there and really looks at your numbers and finances and says, ideally, this is the number we can approve. But a guy like, and this is where it's different. Not all guys like Elliot will tell you this. Guys like Elliot will also say, okay, this is the number that I can get you at approved ceiling. But looking at your budget, looking at your finances, we ideally want to look at a home right here.
You know,
and a mortgage lender won't tell you that all the time.
I always tell them, look, $25K or so. I think you should go a little lower.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but we cannot find a house. Trust me.
Yeah.
You'll find a house. I think when we get desperate, then we make the wrong decisions.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, you get when you get desperate, you do. It's like what's the most dangerous thing? Someone backed in the corner with nothing to gain, and you know what I mean. When you put yourself in those scenarios, then you make irrational decisions.
And remember, you're buying something that is for your whole entire family. Mm-hmm. This is not something you can return back.
Yeah.
You know, next month, I'm sorry, you don't like it enough. You have to be really sure what you do. You know, and I help all the agents do the best they can. Okay, you know, and I even give them, you know, some ideas. Hey, try to do this so they can make, you know, get a better deal for the borrower. But at the end of the day, the borrower makes the decision. Mm-hmm. Okay. In the end of the day, I give you
because you're the one paying for it. Mm-hmm. You're the one signing on the. At the end of the day, the responsibility is on you. What if it doesn't go well? The repercussions are going to happen to you and no one else.
One of the things I tell my borrowers is like, you don't work for me. Mm-hmm. I work for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it doesn't seem like a customer.
I know it doesn't feel that way
because at the end of the day, your customers are like, approve me. Like they're looking for permission in some ways. But at the end of the day,
it's theirs.
Which is why we tell you, if you're on top of your credit and, you know, I'm not saying run around with an 800-plus credit score all the time because that's really hard. But but if you're steady in the 70s, making your bills, don't overextend yourself, you can literally walk in these places and you don't have to worry about that because they're going to come cater to you. If you're like, wow, we got a credit score, we can offer you the lowest interest rate possible. It's no different than walking in car dealerships. You always hear 0% for 6. Yeah, if your credit score is 800. Most of us don't have that. You don't get the 0%.
I feel bad for people because everybody's always thinking, oh, but I saw that online and it says this. It's like, you have to read that little small print.
If your credit score is like 750, 800,
and
then
you're putting 25% down, I mean, how many people can put 25% down?
Not many.
If that was the case, I wouldn't be doing any first-time home buying program. At all.
Well, that's why there is first-time home. Yeah,
to help those individuals.
Between veterans, first responders, teachers,
MFA from the state of New Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, if anybody wants to buy a house, you still can buy a house. Mm-hmm. Not because the market went up.
Sure.
Okay. See, what a lot of people forget is this. If you could buy, let's make an example. If you could buy $250,000 when it was 3.5% down, okay, maybe you cannot buy $250,000. Now you could buy maybe $235,000, $225,000.
That equity.
So the world didn't change in a drastic, crazy way.
Sure.
You know, and that's what I try to tell my borrowers. Like, don't look at the interest rate only. Look at the whole aspect. I mean, are you ready to really move to a home? Mm-hmm. Is it going to be better for your family? What is the benefit for you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if there's no true benefit, that's different. If that was the case, no investors be buying any homes right now.
Absolutely.
They would completely walk away, and the market be like, oh, there's more houses for regular buyers only.
Sure.
Guess what? That's not the case, okay?
They're buying and flipping.
They're buying it still. Now, I think they're even going faster because they're like, hey, they keep going up, so we need to buy.
Sure.
You know?
Well, and let's face it, their business gets more expensive by day because flippers are in your Home Depots and all these places buying
and everything comes
construction costs. So the cost for them to flip it is probably 30% higher than it was a year ago. I'm just making up a number.
Well, no, you're about right.
Yeah.
You know, it might even be higher than that, actually. But no, you're completely correct.
Yeah.
You know. And there's remodeling loans out there, guys. You know, because a house doesn't look that pretty, doesn't mean you need to buy it and it stays that way.
Sure.
Okay. There's remodeling programs that you could buy. There's go and do your research. 2 or 3K purchasing remodeling loan. Okay. Loan Depot is huge about it. Okay. And was one of those tools that you could buy a home, and maybe you need to supply some paint and maybe fix the bathroom. And guess what? You could buy a house.
Yeah.
You don't need to move into it that moment. The moment you close, you fix it.
Sure.
Okay. So those are there. Okay?
And that's where your real estate agent can help with that.
Exactly.
When they talk about, they look at the house, you know what? I can get 10 more grand for this house if you put new coat of paint in that room.
And if a home is not FHA approved,
that
doesn't mean you cannot buy it FHA. We could still do 2 or 3K.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could fix the home and still buy that house.
Absolutely.
All right? A lot of people always like, oh, but the home is not going to pass inspection and this and that. Okay,
Sure.
so let's take it to the next level. Let's do the 2 or 3K.
Sure.
Okay.
And your real estate agent also can tell you what upgrades are worth the expense
Exactly.
and worth, or maybe we negotiated. And for example, and I know it's different times, but this also works. I just all the time. But we sold our home. We had to replace the carpet. We knew it. We knew it was old carpet. But our real estate agent said, you know what? Don't replace the carpet. Just say offer credit, because the next buyers may want ceramic tile, hardwood floor, and they may look at it and rip up your carpet anyway. So in essence, something I was assuming I was going to do before I sold this house, they said hold off on it, and that's exactly what happened. Is we sold the house, we gave them a credit on the carpet.
See, I need to bring Mike into my team.
Yeah,
that's exactly true.
Yeah.
So instead of, you don't even have to do the 2 or 3K.
Yeah.
Maybe the place all it needs is new flooring.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you make your offer, okay, hey, ask to replace that. Okay. So either ask the seller to replace it in advance, or get a credit for it.
Sure.
Okay. Trust me, your agent's gonna sit down and negotiate these things.
Yeah.
Not because the house has an ugly carpet, because maybe it's old.
Sure.
Or it got ruined. The kids ruined it. And the guys didn't ever replace that.
And let's face it,
there's so many things happens.
And when people are shopping homes, they're visioning what they want to do with. So they're walking through and they look at your kitchen like, oh, I love this kitchen, but I'd get new counters, or I'd get new.
I have been in cases that the person said, oh, I cannot buy because that kitchen or that flooring is like. When you buy it, it's yours. You can do whatever you want.
Guess what? They swap it out. It's or pay someone to do it, or DIY it, whatever it is.
No, but at Loan Depot, you lender a choice. Okay, homes means everything, and what we mean with this is we're going to do everything we can to help you make that dream come true.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to help you make it happen. We got programs. Okay, we got first-time home buying programs.
Absolutely.
Okay, the Stay on New Mexico helps you. Things are changing, but the programs are still available. Okay, we got the 2 or 3Ks, programs in there. Help you fix a home and make it approvable.
Absolutely.
So you could buy it FHA if you have to. Okay, we got the Glance Slam. Okay, you can actually get credit from Loan Depot to you after you close a home and get money back.
Oh, nice.
Okay? Which is huge.
That's almost like a rewards program.
It's a rewards program.
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
So the chances and opportunities are there depending on the individual situation. So we are here to help you accomplish the dream of owning your home. So if you can come to us and allow us and follow our lead, okay, we still work for you.
Yeah.
We'll do what you said in the end of the day. We'll give you the tools. We'll give you the choices. In the end of the day, you choose what you want and you make it happen for yourself.
Yeah.
And I love doing that, and I always have done that for customers throughout my whole career.
And that's what it's about.
And this is what we do.
You're honest, you're upfront, but you'll go to bat for them at every single time and make sure. And if you can't get them in, you do everything you can to get them in later down the road.
I will cover every stone to see what we can do. So.
Absolutely. So if you're listening here and you're thinking, you know what, I need to get my ducks in order. I want to talk and get my loan, and let's test the waters here. See what the market's like. Give Elliot a call. You can call him direct on his cell at 719-237-4680. You can call the office number 505-445-2070, or you can reach out via email erodriguez@loandepot.com.
That's correct.
Or go to loandepot.com/erodriguez, actually. It's Elliot Rodriguez. I'm sorry. It's all Elliot Rodriguez. Yeah. And you can go that way, or just call them 719-237-4680. And have you got an office to hang your coat up yet, or is that still in the works?
We just broke the deal, so we should
be
have
soon
an
here.
address.
Next time I talk to you, probably.
I will say so. Yes.
Awesome. Very good.
I can't wait. I'm having cabin fever, dude. I thought the COVID-19 scenario was over, and I'm stuck back to it again.
Right? You're like, oh my God, it is. So, but thank you, Elliot.
No, thank you for having me.
Anytime, we'll see you next time. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, 9:56. Let's get you into your Wall Street business update. Quick break before we wrap up. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The stock market sell-off rolls on. Wall Street opened lower this morning. Investors concerned about the ongoing spread of COVID in China and its impact on the global economy. Coca-Cola sales surged 16% in the first quarter. People returned to movie theaters, music venues, and sports stadiums. The Atlanta-based company posted net income of $2.78 billion, or 64 cents per share, topping Wall Street expectations for the quarter. According to media reports, Twitter's board is negotiating with Tesla CEO Elon Musk over his bid to buy the social media platform, and a deal could be announced as early as today. Local regulators have given their approval to Amazon's plans to build a unique helix-shaped tower, the centerpiece of its emerging second headquarters complex in Northern Virginia. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or the frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county, or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
Roll in and save during the Moneyopoly event at Roswell Nissan with game-changing savings on a huge selection of vehicles like a 2017 Chevy Malibu for just $279 a month, a 2018 Escape for just $249 a month, or a 2015 Rogue for just $149 a month. Get a mini Monopoly board and play the Plinko Cash Grab for your chance at cold hard cash just for stopping by. Get a free trip to Vegas with a test drive and bring your mailer for the chance to win $50 grand. Moneyopoly all month long at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Make your home a smart home with Smart Home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today, 575-755-1000, or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get Smart Home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The average person spends only 10 minutes a day speaking. Many wish Mike Winters was more like the average person. Here's Mike Winters.
Thank you, and it's about done. We're about doing it for today. If you missed any part of the show, you can check it out at your leisure, ksvptv.com. You can go to the Mornings with Mike Winters channel and check it out there, or our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall. Or if you are a YouTuber, you can go to our Roswell's Talk FM YouTube channel and find it all there. That's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow.